Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 527. It is November 9th, 2017. My name is Nicholas Henderson.
Oh my god.
What?
It's November 9th, 2017.
What?
It's almost 2018. What happened to 2017?
It came and went, as it normally does. That's Crispy.
Came all over the place. Hey, how's it going?
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And joining us this week is Jack.
Hey,
our good friend Jack, who hasn't been on the show for quite a while.
Nope.
But we're happy to have you tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You're going to be talking about
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. He brought his Wolfenstein doll.
Yep.
Billy.
Are we calling it a doll?
It's an action figure.
In the theme of the era that it's designed from, yeah, I guess so.
Fair enough. So we'll talk about Wolfenstein here in a bit. We also have last week was the first show since the big three, I guess, released. We had Super Mario Odyssey, we had Assassin's Creed Origins. We talked more about those games, plus some other things. I know Nolan's been playing some Cuphead. I've been playing some Fatal Frame 5. I don't know why I thought I was stuttering there.
Maybe you're thinking of the Unfathomable Forest.
The Unfathomable Forest. Like I've never had to think so hard about a word in my life.
The Unfathomable Forest.
And they say it like multiple times in that game too, and you read it in like all these notes, so it drives me freaking crazy. Anyways, before we get to that, of course, I want to start our podcast off by reading feedback from last week. I want to go ahead and plug our Discord. If you're a member of the community, we'd love to have you in our community Discord. It's discord.gg/4player. We're all in there. We hang out there all the time. We talk about video games and other, nerd shit.
Yep.
What else do I want to plug? Also, Patreon. If you're a supporter on Patreon, you now get 24-hour early access to the podcasts without ads. And that's including this episode that we're recording right now. Goes up the morning after we record it. And then it's available to everybody else on Saturday morning. So, anyways, with that, feedback will start right now. Crispy.
At 4:13.
Synchronized watches.
Crispy's keeping count of the time this week for Chris Davis, because Chris Davis is out. Our first bit of feedback from last week comes from Rock Joker.
Oh.
This is a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling we might disappoint him a little bit with our answer to this comment, but I'm going to read it nonetheless. First of all, he says, the podcast was awesome as always, and then the time came for Paris Games Week conversation, and I became very worried. There is so much negativity towards The Last of Us Part 2 trailer. So much, and I'm quoting him, so much PC bullshit about out-of-context violence, and about how the trailer doesn't do anything aside from being quote-unquote torture porn. Podcast after podcast I was listening to otherwise intelligent people saying some obnoxious shit you can expect from a Polygon article. Ooh, that's a low blow. So this whole situation with the trailer became some kind of a testing ground for podcasts, and I was actually dreading the moment you guys are going to talk about it. I was worried that we would fall into the same pit as other podcasts did, but you guys didn't disappoint. You managed to recognize the intent, quality, and power of this trailer. I don't know if that was our intention. We're all very excited for The Last of Us 2.
I'm so glad we passed the test.
I've not seen the trailer, but
it's torture porn.
For all I gotta say
violence.
about it, having not seen it, maybe I'm completely wrong, but this is Naughty Dog we're talking about.
Yes.
They're going to put out a good game.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's no question about that.
Exactly.
It was more of if you watch the trailer, you don't know it's The Last of Us until literally the last 3 seconds of the trailer.
Yeah.
And then at that point,
honestly,
it's like, what the fuck was that?
I don't know how much of that actually constitutes a trailer.
That's true.
It was literally a snippet of a cutscene or a set piece in the game, and then you find out in the last like you said, like last millisecond of the trailer that this is The Last of Us.
I mean, it's Joel and Ellie.
No. It's all new characters.
The last second, you see a clicker running towards the camera.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's The
That's
Last
like
of
your
Us.
cue.
Yeah.
And, like, I had the benefit of going into it knowing that it was the new Last of Us trailer, so I wasn't like what the fuck is going on
when
here?
they were showing it on stage, people were like, "Is this Death Stranding? What the fuck is this?"
Okay, so people are confused. So
No,
what?
but
It's more about what the contents of the trailer.
there is a pretty egregious.
There was people who had
gratuitous
been
violence.
hung and disemboweled.
Yeah.
I think
They were about to disembowel another woman when someone showed up, and then they broke the shit out of her arm with a hammer.
Yeah, I think most people are taking issue with the breaking
pretty
of someone's arm with a claw hammer.
Yeah.
Like close up,
Yeah.
like close up violence.
It was pretty intense.
but
Hey,
it's pretty cringy.
I got me excited.
It got me excited. I think it was.
I was into it. I mean, I like not into the
torture porn?
the torture porn, but
I
mean,
It's fully erect.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
you
like
know.
someone in chat just pointed out, it's got people talking about it, rightly or wrongly. You know, any press is good press. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then
it's
again,
not,
this is Naughty
and
Dog.
honestly, too, it's not an issue about the content of the game. Like, if that was in the game, I wouldn't think anything of it. I think it's more of just they chose
Using it as a marketing
They chose
tool.
to use this as a marketing tool. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I think
people were
start
maybe a
to
little
use
upset that they kind of like ambushed them with that. I don't know. Like it's
People will get over it.
who cares? I don't.
I
I,
mean,
don't
definitely,
like.
yeah.
It is what it is. I liked it.
All right, moving on. Let's move on.
Yeah, oh
whatever.
shit! I'm not done reading. I put my phone down like I
What
was
are you
done
doing?
reading comments.
You fool!
Sorry. Thanks, Christy. King Carey says, after playing Super Mario Odyssey, I think a big contribution to its success and why Mario games need to embrace more open worldness of Mario 64 and Sunshine is the focus on level design and exploration. The game rewards you for looking at every nook and cranny of each level, allowing the player to form an affiliation with that level. Looking back, I have a hard time trying to remember the levels in New Super Mario Bros. Or 3D World, but I can remember nearly all levels in Mario 64, Sunshine, and Odyssey, due to shifts from many linear levels to a handful of grandiose levels. I agree with everything you just said.
Yes.
I'm literally still kind of inching my way through Super Mario Odyssey.
Verily.
I just finished we'll talk about it in a minute. I just finished the Lost Kingdom, I guess.
Barely even started the game, Nick.
Yeah.
I have not docked my
You haven't.
Switch yet.
You
to play
haven't
that
even.
game.
You haven't even begun Super Mario Odyssey.
Nope.
You got to finish it 3 times before the game really starts. It's really
Near
deep.
Automata all over again.
It's really deep, and I wouldn't expect you to understand it, Nick.
I hate you. Are you playing? But yeah, no, I agree. The funny thing, he mentions remembering all the levels in Super Mario Sunshine, and while I did like Sunshine a lot,
Yeah.
that game kind of all bleeds together for me.
That game's
It
great,
has
but,
big open.
but fuck that game.
Yeah, it has big open
It's just
levels
hard
and stuff.
and hard to
but,
control.
but like, it also doesn't have. I also feel like I could be misremembering it somewhat because I haven't played it in so long. But I feel like that, you know how like most Super Mario games have they have a snow world,
Sure.
and a sand world,
all these themes, yeah.
and all these themes. but,
Careful,
like,
Nick.
I know.
Careful, Nick.
Hey, you know what Jack said when he got here? Never mind, I'll say that off. So, he
said
said
the
the
same.
exact
Goddamn
he called
sand
them-
people.
Oh God.
like last week on the show, I accidentally said what did I say? Mexico
Mexico
world?
Kingdom.
Mexico Kingdom. Jack sat down and said the exact same thing. I was like, I feel better now. He does put on, I'm gonna stop there.
Racist.
The point is, Super Mario Sunshine, it's all tropical, right? It's all like
For the most part.
I can't.
It's called Mario Sunshine.
I know. I can't just, and because of they.
And it's the least relaxing of the Mario games.
That's also very true. I have trouble distinguishing levels in Super Mario Sunshine because they all kind of look the same. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're sometimes hard as balls, but it all kind of bleeds together. Anyways, Scarecrow says, there is a Patreon question asking about endings to games that made you physically feel something. Recently on the feed, George played through Anatomy. I'm convinced that the rest of you should play that as well.
I have. It's fantastic.
Short.
Did you feel your anatomy after you beat it?
Dude, I felt really...
Feel my anatomy daily.
That game does a great job of making you feel crazy. Because you're convinced that, I don't know. When I was playing it, I was convinced that, nothing really happens in the game. The whole thing is like
Spoilers.
is waiting for the gun to go off, and it doesn't ever really
I have no
go.
context to this game.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't want to say anything too spoilery.
I mean,
but
his last bit of this comment actually kind of sells it for me.
It-
He says, "Really short game, like an hour at most."
oh yeah,
That
So
will
we're talking
probably,
like Limbo or something.
and that
like
will probably evoke some kind of emotion when it's all done. It did for me, and I wasn't even playing it.
Cool.
yeah. It is a
that
very
was that this year?
wonderful exercise. No, it was late last year.
Oh,
It's a very wonderful exercise in mood and ambiance, and how fucking scary that alone can be.
I do love mood and ambiance.
And the whole I don't know, the whole idea behind it, just fucking play it. It's like you can get it on Itch.io for like $1 or something.
It's too much.
Those
Sorry.
are Carlos prices.
I can't think of many games I've actually played that's been about an hour long. Quite honestly.
Yeah, if
I mean, this whole year has been full of really long, good games.
What
It's
was-
kind of hard to think of.
What was that horror game that we played? That like budget horror game we played, where it was, oh god, was it Get Scared? No. What?
Was
I'm
it a VR
scared?
thing?
Was it I'm Scared?
Was it VR?
the
No, it
old,
was a
the old
PC
one
game.
that like fucks with your computer.
Yeah,
Oh,
where it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
putting
yeah.
files on
I'm
your
Scared.
desktop, and
Wait,
you're
what?
like,
Yeah.
What is this called?
It's called I'm Scared, and it's
Scared.
like a fucking meme horror game,
Yeah.
basically.
but it effectively got me because I think somehow I played it at Brad's, and then I got home and I turned on my PC and I had like plugged in. I don't know. It one of the files somehow ended up on the desktop of my computer at home, and I didn't play it on my computer at home. So
Well, you guys played that years ago. Apparently, they added a shit ton of new content. To
maybe
it.
we should revisit that.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know what that kind of remind. My computer is possessed by Doom. I really don't know why.
I keep seeing your tweets.
Yes, no bullshit. This is no bullshit. On two different occasions, this has happened now. I went like away from the computer. I went to the shower. Computer was on standby. I went to shower. I come back out. 5-10 minutes later or whatever, and I hear like the imps being killed and the shotguns going off. I walk to the computer. Doom 2's loaded up. It's on the main menu. The splash screen and demos playing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I asked.
It really wants you to play.
It has
It
your
did.
soul.
It happened twice.
Come on, Jack. What?
It was like
That's
John
a-
Romero's on the
Listen,
computer. I was
Doom
like,
2.
it's bizarre. I
That's
could
a
not
very
explain that.
appropriate
It could
game.
be. What else is John Romero doing? You know?
He's doing some taco truck game.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually. You run people over in a taco truck.
That's a
or
very
something.
appropriate game to be
Yeah.
haunting your.
Yeah, I
Possessing your
thought it's
computer.
actually pretty cool.
Always tasteful.
Yeah, always.
And our last feedback today comes from Self Torment. Hey guys, it's that cool self. I think he's complimenting himself.
Self torment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted to say Chris should sell his favorite anime, Bible Black. Okay, moving on.
Well, Chris isn't here, so
Oh my goodness.
can't
That's-
Is
sell
it
his-
anything like
he can't sell his
Pokemon?
smut to us, so we can move on.
Honestly, I really enjoyed the last podcast so far. I'm enjoying Assassin's Creed Origins, but I wish it did a bit more for me with history. And Self Torment, he likes to go into history sometimes. Sometimes
He's a history buff.
he sounds
if
like
you
a
will.
history buff. It's currently at the ending years of the I can't even say this word. Ptolemaic dynasty. There's a P at the beginning.
You're having
Ptolemaic?
difficulty with some words tonight. I don't know what.
Yeah, there's too many difficult words.
Ptolemy, yeah.
Ptolemaic dynasty.
It's
Ptolemaic
Ptolemaic.
dynasty.
Ptolemaic.
And it doesn't really talk about the other eras, mostly just the era of Old Kingdom. They don't really talk about the Middle or New Kingdom all that much. I want the war with the Sea People to be covered. War with the Sea People? Is that really what it's called?
I believe they're referred to as seamen.
Who are these seamen?
Just a reminder, the Old Kingdom was like... Just a reminder, like, we just forgot about this little tidbit.
Professor Self.
The Old Kingdom was like over 2,000 years for the before the events of the current game. So that would probably explain why it's not in the game. As someone who's currently playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and we'll talk about it at length here in a little bit, I just want to... I get, like, especially as someone who's like a fan of that series, and I like the historic aspects of it, and I want to see them like touch on all these different times and places and whatnot.
Touch them all
At
over.
some point, it'd be really easy to like get ahead of yourself as a developer and like try and do too many things at once and like lose focus and so you kind of it makes sense that they would pick kind of like one era and one time
period,
and,
yeah.
kind of focus, like laser focus on it, because if you don't do that, you're gonna muddy it up a bit.
Obviously, you're not that big of a fan. You haven't been to the places. You haven't been to
Oh,
Notre
fuck
Dame.
off, Nolan.
You haven't been to the Colosseum. I've been there.
He was there.
God
He
damn it.
climbed them.
Yeah.
Did you go to Egypt, Nolan? He's trying to decide what to say.
No, he's only been to the locations of
say he was a
real
fan of that
Assassin's
game.
Creed
Yeah.
games.
Also, the game's only been out for a couple of weeks, so
So you're buying your plane tickets to Egypt right
maybe.
Bitch, I might.
now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your feedback. I am aware that we haven't announced the winner for our giveaway for October, and I was actually going to pick that winner today, but I was having internet issues at work today when I was trying to do that, so I didn't get to do that. I know. Air quotes. I apologize.
It was his butthole. It's causing issues.
I feel like no one's found a way to slip the word butthole into our podcast for the past 3 weeks.
Having issues with his LAN port, you know.
USB port.
Wink, wink, wink. I'm winking a lot.
But we will be announcing the winner of our giveaway for October. I'll either do it in Discord or over Twitter throughout the week, or I'll wait till the beginning of next show to announce the winner. But if you would like to enter we do a monthly giveaway. We give away games to anyone who wants to get involved with the podcast every month. You can either retweet the show when the tweet goes out, or you can comment and leave feedback on the show like we just read off. Either way, doing both of those things will enter you in the drawing, and we will pick someone at random at the end of the month, and you get to pick a game of your choosing up to a $60 value, and we'll give it to you. So, with that said, I think it's time. Crispy?
Hang on. What are we talking about first?
Fuck. Let's talk. Fuck, Jack's here. Let's talk about Wolfenstein.
Okay, Wolfenstein start at 1744. Go.
Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is probably the best first-person shooter I've played since Doom last year, which was the best first-person shooter I played since
The Wolfenstein before that?
The New Order in 2014. Yeah.
I got a question. Does the naming scheme for this series of games, the Wolfenstein series of game, confuse you ever?
No.
New Order, Old Colossus, New Colossus? Wait, no.
New Order, Old Blood.
Shadow
See?
of the Colossus.
See?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Old Colossus. And that's basically like Logan, but it's about Colossus.
I like the naming scheme. It's just
The names have always been really... Well, the reboot series has always had a weird... has got like a kind of weird naming
I love
system.
Reboot.
But, I mean, the Wolfenstein franchise has been going since the early 80s.
Okay, Jack, so real quick, what would you say is the reason why this game is such poop?
I would know.
What do you think the big failing with Wolfenstein, the old Colossus order is?
The old Colossus Order. The old bloody Colossus Order.
Yes.
Oh my god.
How many ways does this game fail?
It's a trap. Don't answer it.
I'm not going to answer that. What is it you guys say? I plead the fifth or something?
Yes.
Yes.
What, you guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You people.
Yeah.
No,
plead the
this
fifth.
game is just fucking awesome. It is insane. There's so much I want to talk about that's plot related that obviously I'm not going to spoil it.
Sure.
But
I've heard many people say this game is bananas.
it is fucking bananas. Yes. And it does some things with the plot that I have never seen done in a game, period. And it just goes so out there, but then rolls with it like it's like it just plays it straight the whole time. Mm-hmm. But I mean that the whole series of the reboot series has always been like that. It's always done some weird shit and then just rolled with it. And this one just amps it up even more. This particular one has had some criticism leveled against it for being more narrative driven.
That sounds great.
Than even
My
the New
favorite
Order.
parts of so I recently played the Old
Blood, yeah.
But my favorite parts of the New Order were the fact that it was surprisingly like there was a story there.
They
were
make a
characters
guy
there
named
that
BJ like a proper damn good like character.
Yes, great.
And this one much more so.
That's
like
awesome.
This is more of a character study of anything. I mean, great gameplay. It's so weird to think of this series of anything.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, you try it.
Have you played the New Order?
Dude,
No.
later on,
Wait,
I swear.
I don't. Yeah, I did.
How much
did.
of this have you played, you said?
Okay, I got like through 5 chapters of this one, I believe.
You don't like it or what?
No, I like it, but like I don't know, like it's the idea of Wolfenstein being a character study of anything is ludicrous
weird.
to me.
But that's the best part.
No, that's great if it really pulls that off. I didn't get out of the part of the game where it was still like the last game, you know, so I didn't see a lot of anything like super new or engaging. Not that was a bad thing. I think the last Wolfenstein game was really good too. I I really want you to elaborate on how this gets ridiculous.
I wish I could say. There's a lot of spoilers.
My favorite thing about the New Order when I played it, years back, was like when I think back to that game, I remember enjoying the gunplay and all that stuff. But like the things that stick in my head were like the moments when you're in like the bunker and you're just walking around talking to people and getting to know the side characters.
So the attention to detail in this is insane. Like the sub that you're on, your main HQ, as it were.
Yeah.
You go around and you'll find resistance members, and they're just having an idle conversation with each other, or you'll see like a side character in the cafeteria who's trying to mix with some other people that are in the resistance and they don't like her, and there's all that lots of little mannerisms going on, and it's all easily avoidable.
Like
it's so there's just a lot of detail to it. I mean, it's pretty insane. It's one of those games that I spent a lot of time on just wandering around the areas and just seeing what was going on.
Yeah, when I played the Old Blood, I remember thinking I was having fun, but I remember feeling like something was missing, and that ended up being
the Old Blood is more of like like I said when you were playing, it's more of the gameplay driven side of things, and they kind of do the same thing with this, even more so. So the main game itself is your narrative driven thing, and then the DLC campaigns, from what I've played of it so far.
Wait, there's already DLC campaigns?
You got season pass stuff, yeah. But I think it acts as kind of what the Old Blood was. Yeah. I mean, there's just 30 seconds of like comic book pictures, and then you're in a game.
Yeah.
Not as BJ Blazkowicz, but as 3 other characters.
What?
Yeah. So you see it from different perspectives
without
and stuff.
playing as BJ?
Do you get to play as Elite Hans?
No. Okay. So, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So there's just lots of like really cool stuff. Like I said, in the HQ, you go down to the cafeteria, or in the arcade bit above, and there's a full-on remake of Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah, I heard
except
about that.
it's all the assets have been changed to fit the theme of the game, where Germany won the war and everything. So you're trying to kill BJ, and you're shooting Russians and American people instead of Germans. And it's the exact same game, same map layouts, everything. It's just textures have been changed and stuff like that. It's just lots of little Easter eggs and nods to past games and things like that. And yeah, I know, I fucking love this.
So the funny thing that when we were talking a little while ago, I had asked you about the difficulty, because like everyone that I've been listening to talk about this game, it's always like, first of all, this game is shockingly difficult, and most people like who default to, like, they'll play the game, they'll default to the normal difficulty. They almost all that I've heard have all ended up knocking it down to easy, and they say it becomes much more enjoyable.
So this guy,
you played it, you fucking bananas. You're playing it on the hardest difficulty.
I did do it on the hardest difficulty.
Is that the name of the difficulty?
No, my Leben is the one where you die once and it's game over.
Permanent.
So yeah, that sounds like the most difficult.
I think it's called I am Death Incarnate. I think it's called. But yeah, so that guy that's in the footage there that was finding those orange lasers.
Yeah.
That guy is like the bane of my existence playing this game, because his weapon will destroy any kind of metal surface in the game period.
You can't like hide behind.
Yeah, so you can't hide behind cover and stuff like that. Which, as a game as difficult as this, you will use the cover system. And I know when you were playing it, Nick, you were trying to sneak around and things like that. It's difficult to do, but
I've heard it's difficult. I've heard it's harder to do in this game, and that you kind of have to be like constantly moving.
You have to be on the move.
That was like pretty much my main complaint with the game so far, is that cover isn't really an option and stealth isn't really an option, even though it's like there.
It's there.
Like they're teasing you with it.
They tease you with it with the commanders. When you go into the commanders,
that whole thing like sets it up of like, okay, this seems like it should be a stealth section, and if I play my cards right, I can take all these guys out without having to turn it into what the game really wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, by Wolfenstein, by definition, you should just be going apeshit with guns. And
it sounds to me like if you knock it down to the easiest difficulty, it becomes more amenable to that style of play.
You can get by on stealth. I mean, it's not the best developed stealth system. It never intended on being that, but you can kind of get by, especially with like the commander sections where you got to take them out, otherwise they raise the alarms. You can do it.
Don't they give you like silenced weapons and stuff?
Yeah, you get silenced weapons.
You can use weapon upgrades to get silenced.
Gotcha.
So without,
but that's like an economy of shit that like you might not want to be wasting those on.
Without dropping any kind of spoilers, there's a point about midway through the game where you're given the option of 3 different kind of like, for all intents and purposes, like a superpower kind of thing. And the levels
Tell me more.
The levels are all designed to accommodate those 3 different kinds of deals you can get. So if you look around the environment, you will find like things you can crawl under or things you can go over that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, or some other things.
Crawl under. So is one of the superpowers? Can you get like Ant-Man powers and get really tiny?
Wait, is it an actual superpower?
It's hard to really go into.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil because it is such a narrative-driven game, and
oh my god,
in a time where there's so much of an emphasis on multiplayer stuff and like loot boxes and shit like that, it's nice to finally just play a dedicated single-player game, and a pretty long one at that.
Like I think it was also maybe longer because of the difficulty method.
Yeah, I mean, I died a lot on this. I gotta be honest.
I would imagine.
But I mean, you got other things too. Like, keep hitting the microphone.
That's all right.
All the like Enigma codes all the Enigma codes that you can pick up off the commanders you use to decipher, which gives you access to replay certain areas in a kind of a challenge mode kind of deal, which you then use to unlock different upgrades for weapons and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
So there's quite a lot to it. And definitely, if anyone's looking for a break for all the multiplayer stuff, really check it out. And especially if you played the New Order. If you haven't played the New Order, play that before you play this.
So that's kind of a question. Because I was listening to a show and someone had mentioned that this game picks up like right after the end of New Order.
It starts on the final.
If I don't like remember the specifics of what went down,
it covers it. Okay.
It does like a previously on Wolfenstein.
Yeah, like a TV kind of thing. Yeah. So the one last thing I kind of really want to mention that people criticize about the New Order and the Old Blood was that you had to keep pressing the button to pick up stuff, armor and health and ammo and such things. Some people think that you have to do the same on this one. You kind of do and you kind of don't. So his maximum health, as you can see right there, is 50 and armor of 200 there, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can overdrive that and get up to like, I think 200 health and I think like 300 armor if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a little bit more. That you have to pick up. But if you have under 50 and you walk over a med pack, it will pick it up. And the same goes to ammo. If you're not maxed out on ammo, it will pick up the ammo automatically.
That's interesting that they don't 100% commit one way or the other. Yeah, it's just
well, it's because if a big enemy comes in and you want to save those med packs that you've seen lying around for the boss encounter, you can do that. But
yeah, I guess you're right. Because if you were running around moving, because as you do, you move around super fast. It would be easy to accidentally pick up something you were maybe hoping to save. Yeah,
exactly. But that being said, the hitboxes for picking up that kind of stuff is pretty small.
Yeah.
I mean, I went around mashing that E key, just picking up stuff left, right, and center.
So we were watching this footage last week when Chris Davis talked about it a little bit, and one thing this game looks like super fucking fast. Like
it's not Doom fast, but.
So you think Doom was faster than this?
Oh, Doom was much faster.
I'm watching this footage and I'm like...
Nick, remember, once again, Chris Davis is playing with a wider field of view than you normally would, so it seems like it's a little bit faster.
That could be something.
But it looks to me like I wouldn't enjoy it because of how fucking
it's not
fast
as fast as I think you're thinking it is.
Yeah.
I don't think
you played on PC, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to Brad a little bit earlier today. He's playing it on PS4, and he said it runs beautifully on that console. I've heard the Xbox One version maybe has some issues for whatever reason.
I heard the One X version of it. It kind of has like a juddering, obviously on the higher definition, like I guess the 4K deal or whatever. It judders a little bit, but I've not heard of any issues on the system or consoles at all. Yeah, I mean it's a solid game. It really is.
Yeah, the other two were solid too. So
it runs beautifully. But I mean, really, that's like I said. There's so much I want to say that it's all story related.
Well,
so
just
I'll
kind
leave
of.
It, but
so we already talked a little bit once today about gratuitous violence.
If you're interested in it, definitely play the previous games first. For sure, because it does use the characters a lot.
At the very least, play the New Order.
The New Order, definitely. Yeah.
Not that I didn't like the Old Blood, but
that's kind of like a compliment.
Yeah, I think that was just like, hey, you want more of the gameplay of that from New Order? Here you go.
They released that for $20. It's like an 8-hour single player campaign.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. Although that final boss sucked dick.
Yeah, I'll grant you that.
But I was a lot of people talk about how bananas this game is, and how it does some like crazy set pieces and whatnot. Without spoiling anything, do they get away with doing a lot? Because it has to do with Nazis, obviously. So like, do they get away? Do you think they get away with it? Go to
without hammering the themes and stuff.
Are you asking if Wolfenstein is tasteful?
Maybe.
You kill lots of Nazis. You kill lots of
I think
KKK members. You kill lots
because
of people.
I can answer that for you, but I don't think.
I will say this isn't a spoiler because it's on a trailer. Hitler is in the game.
What?
Hitler makes appearance.
Makes an appearance.
Der
Okay.
Führer?
Zephyr himself. Yeah.
Is it just that one scene where it's him yelling 999 over and over?
Oh my goodness. That was the best. That was the best. Okay.
Definitely play it.
Yes,
it's fucking
it's-
good. It's a great.
It's
game.
on my super long list of games to get to. In fact, as soon as I finish the game I'm playing right now, which I'll talk about in a bit, I'm probably going to jump straight into this.
If anyone is interested in buying it cheap on the computer, get at me on Twitter because I have 2 extra PC codes.
Ooh.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'll get at you.
Would you get at me?
I'll get at you right now.
At
He has
Creamy
one
Elephant.
extra PC code.
Yes, I have 1 extra. This just in. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I get at you.
Oh man. So, do you think this game would be good for a spoiler cast? Because I feel like
potentially
every conversation I hear of this game is like, oh, there's so much I want to tell you, but I don't want to spoil it. And it's like maybe
it's mostly the big twist around the middle of the game.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I like twists.
Is the big twist you twisting Hitler's nuts?
Well, because, I mean, put it this way. In a series that has had you on the moon fighting Nazis and fighting Hitler in a mech suit...
Wait. Which game takes you to the moon?
Super Mario Odyssey?
Yes. New Order.
It does?
Wait, you go to the...
I fucking knew it. I called that
You know
shit
what? People
day one.
Yeah, in like last week after we had the show and you mentioned... someone had mentioned that. Maybe it was you.
It was absolutely...
Was it you? Okay, so somebody, like that day, I looked on Twitter and like someone was
you mean his
screenshot,
single, right?
and I was like, fuck, someone just completely ruined it.
Son of a bitch.
Wait, you go to the moon in New Order?
Yeah. He goes, I'm on the fucking moon. But the cool thing is, he doesn't...
How do I not remember
he
going to
doesn't-
the moon?
He doesn't play it off normal. He's as shocked as, like, you would be as the audience. It's fucking awesome. You're in, like, 0G fighting Nazis, dude. It's fucking awesome.
What? I played this entire game. How do I not
delightful.
remember going to the moon?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to watch a recap or something. God damn it. Anyways, Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, that's out now.
Probably my favorite game this year. Fuck it. While you're all circle jerking,
definitive-
you're all circle jerking and dick slapping over Mario Odyssey, I'm fucking shooting Nazis in the dick.
Speaking
That's
of
good
circle
stuff.
jerking and... What did you say?
Slapping dicks.
Dick slapping.
Dick slapping?
Super Mario Odyssey. Why don't we just continue circle jerking Super Mario Odyssey right now?
Cool.
No one finished the fucking game.
I did.
You monster.
How am I a monster?
I know. I'm
Wait,
just
how many
kidding.
hours did it
I
take you
wish
to
I
finish the game? Because I've seen how many hours you put into it.
Maybe
total.
20.
Okay.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Damn. That's not nowhere near as long as I was expecting.
I mean, I think you could finish it faster.
Yeah.
You could finish this game in like probably 8 hours.
I think Super Mario Odyssey might when people like once we get enough distance from it and you turn around and think about it, this game might be like one of the shortest Mario games. I mean, because like I played.
Apparently, I didn't finish the game. So I mean, credits rolled, and then there you can do a bunch more, and then I did another section, and apparently there's even a third one after that I haven't even.
Are you
got
going
to
for all
yet.
800 and whatever?
I will.
Because it looks like you're already breaking 600.
I'm
so
at 647.
You're well
I
on your
think.
way.
But when I finished before playing today, I was at 647 moons. Sorry, just to keep calling them stars.
Hey Nick, what is this kingdom?
This is the Sand
Oh,
Kingdom.
okay.
And
Jack.
so,
Is this one of those situations where you, in order to see like the best ending of the game, you have to get all 800?
I don't think that's the truth. I don't think that's it.
That shit would drive me
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I think it's more of a. There's just a lot of content you can do. So honestly, some of the coolest puzzles and stuff I have done have been in that like post game content.
Yeah.
What? You can get Luigi's costume?
Yeah, that's
and
from-
Waluigi?
That's from Amiibos.
I feel like Nolan has spoiled more costumes for me in this game than anybody else.
You are
I'm
ruining
about to
this.
spoil the best costume in the
There
game.
you
No.
64 Mario?
Yeah, dude. Ever since I got that, that's all I play. As.
Astronaut Mario? Oh, my
That's all I play
God,
as.
I hate
But yeah, so anyway, so I beat the game. You know, the final showdown with Bowser. Fucking amazing music,
Dude, every single world in this game has amazing music.
But no, this one's pretty good.
Specifically the one where you fight Bowser?
Well, when you're like leaving that area,
Yeah.
there's like a song and stuff. Glorious. Yeah. So anyway, and then it unlocks a bunch of new content. There's an area you go to that I don't want to talk about. It got spoiled for me, actually by the game itself.
Wait, what?
Because you can go into those paintings.
you can go into the back
and it
doors.
took me one, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!" Like,
Yeah.
I wish I would not have seen that.
When I was in the Sand Kingdom, I found the painting that takes you to basically New Donk City.
New Donk City.
So like, the game does have a tendency to spoil
I
worlds
wish
you're
that
gonna
wouldn't
go to.
happen. I wish those paintings only took you backwards.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But anyway, yeah, I've played the shit out of this game. As I said, I'm at 647 stars.
Yeah.
I still will argue there's too many. It's not so much that, like, that one. I think that was an okay star. I had to find it around a corner, hidden somewhere. I really don't like the ones that are still, you just ground pound and you get them.
Yeah.
And I was talking about it a little bit with Jack.
I found a few that are like you can't see them. They're like just over a ledge.
Yeah.
And you can't, because the camera's not by default kind of around that. But if you pan the camera around, it's like right there. All you have to do is drop off.
It seems
the
like
ledge.
there's only so many kind of level combinations you can do about like what you were saying about putting them around corners, around that kind of stuff. And it seems like they do just about every one of them.
Yeah, no, they
possible.
do. And the ones that I really like are the ones that are like, when you go into the 2D side scrolling, and you have to do some kind of platforming challenge. Or I was Jack was watching me play before the feed. Was a lot of those when you go into the pipe and you have to do some sort of challenge. It's a lot of platforming stuff. It's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's just not sitting there.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I really enjoy.
Well, what surprised me is that race you were doing and just how it encourages you to use all the little platforming tricks and
that's the
maneuvers
thing.
and things like that.
Post game, one of the things it unlocks. I think actually after you beat a world, you can unlock the racing, but I think post game you can unlock an even harder version. But you can do these Koopa Troopa races.
Yeah.
And it's you running through the level, trying to get to the destination fastest. But honestly, just following the path, you probably won't win. You have to do like some pretty intense jumping and dodging and the thing is, I knew you could do some tricks. Super Mario 64. Oh, you could do your wall jump and you could do your backflip and your long jump. But this, it gets insane where you can do a long jump and then you throw your hat and then you fly forward and bounce off your hat and then you throw your hat again and you fly forward again and you can get these insane combos for distance.
I remember the first time I realized
you could travel some distance on the map.
I remember the first time I realized you could throw your hat and then use it as a platform.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
You don't have to jump to do that either.
Like that right
Really?
there. And
If you throw it and you just run into it, he jumps off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Makes it
sweet.
easier.
Dude, oh my god.
So one thing that I don't know if maybe you can turn it off. I've not really played through this game at all or anything. I've only seen bits of it. But can you turn off the constant prompts about how to play it?
So that's the thing I want to talk
tutorial?
about. That's one of the things that I've kind of had frustrations with. So first off, I think the game's bad at teaching you things. I don't think it often explains things well enough.
Which is wild, considering they did
I thought it
Breath of
explains
the
it too
Wild
much.
this year.
Hold on. So there are certain elements that it explains too much, and then there are certain elements I don't think it explains well enough. Like Bernadette didn't realize you could fast travel until she had finished the forest.
See, I
kingdom.
knew you could fast travel. I just don't do it.
Yeah. And then there was something else. I don't think it explained how ground pounding is really efficient way of I don't know. It's silly to me the things they But yeah, the fact
I
that
didn't know you could do that ground pound and then
jump higher.
up. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's silly that every time you get in a bullet bill, it explains press Y to go faster.
Yeah.
Or shake the Pro controller to go. Some of that, it does get really annoying. And I wish you could turn it off, but to me, I don't know of a way.
I think that's mind-boggling because literally they fixed the problem with Zelda this year by doing Breath of the Wild and not holding your hand so much, and then they go with Mario, and just
It's like he was climbing up something and it was telling him how to jump
shake
off.
the blah, blah,
Yeah.
and it'll do that every single time.
Nice.
I don't know. It's.
I mean, this is pretty much a flawless game, right?
No, it definitely is. There are very few things wrong with it. Like I said, me bitching about this was me thing. Is there a secret down there?
yeah. I almost did the exact same thing. I'm glad you
that.
just confirmed for me that
you
would have
die
killed
when
me.
you go down there. And yeah, Reborn has a point. The fucking motion control in this game are a bitch.
See, that's what confused me. In the options, it says motion controls on or off, but it's not, right? It doesn't turn it all off.
Yeah, no, it doesn't turn it all
Now,
off.
I will
And there's
tell
only
you.
certain moves that you can do.
I will tell you
by
this:
using it.
I've played about 90%. Like I said, I've only spent about 6 or 7 hours with the game total. I have not docked this game once, and I've played about 90% of my time that I spent with it has been spent Joy-Cons off, kickstand up, and playing it.
how,
yeah,
I guess
and
they
I actually
intended.
find that to be really enjoyable.
Well, that's probably how they
but
intended it.
it does make it like last night. I was like, I'm gonna lay in bed for a while and play some Mario, and obviously I don't have Sling where I can prop it up for myself. in bed. So I was like, I guess I'm just gonna play it with the Joy-Cons on the thing, and which made certain moves basically impossible to do because I don't want to fucking shake my system.
Shake your
$200
I don't want to shake my baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's one that's like a radius attack, right? And
If you shake the controller while you're throwing
and then I found there was a situation where you had, like, you're fishing. And you have to like a fish bit the line, and it's like, all right, shake the controller. I was like, ah! I was actually at work, and I was like sitting at my desk, and I was just doing stuff, and then like I was like, oh no, it's telling me to shake the controller, and I have like someone sitting right next to me in the other cubicle, and I'm just like,
you're trying to do it discreetly under the table.
desk is shaking.
Luckily, I just said fuck it, and I just
Wait, I thought you didn't dock your Switch.
no. Oh, this is a docking joke.
So look, watch. I'll do like that and then that.
Damn, you're fucking master.
Yeah. The funny thing was, did I talk about like Bernadette having a difficult time last week?
They still do the fucking 3-stage jump.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, totally. No, there's no move in this that they've taken
Mario,
out. Yeah, they're all there.
I love it.
All they've done is add stuff.
Yeah, and some of them are really surprising. Like when I first discovered the ground pound jump, the boosted jump, like I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like they haven't done. There's been so many games, and like I feel like they keep finding so many cool ways to
reinvent,
jump higher or go faster.
There's a sequence in the Forest Kingdom.
I think that's my favorite kingdom.
Where you have to, and it's not honestly that difficult. But like Bernadette, I would not call her like a hardcore gamer. She definitely just plays games very random, very not often. But Mario was one that she actually really wanted to play. And so there's a sequence where you have to do a bunch of long jumps. Some of them, you do, just like long jumps or whatever, and then you get some purple coins.
Yeah.
And she was having a pretty difficult time doing it, and I was trying to give her some pointers. I was like, try doing this. You didn't know you could roll?
Yeah.
I
didn't know you could roll.
It's the fastest way to get around.
I thought rolling was the replacement to the 3-stage jump because it does the
right?
same thing. If you roll and then jump, he does that same like.
How do you roll?
You have to
hold down,
and then Y, and then
right trigger or
I
left
think it's left trigger.
left trigger. Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you this, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, it does a bad job.
It does. It tells you at one point, but it tells you once and never tells you.
Yeah, but
which is I think how it's ironic. Like I kind of wish I knew this, but I also wish that's how they handled everything. They tell you once and then never tell you again.
Yeah. Deputy Dangle is right. There's an entire action guide in the fucking pause menu, Nick.
I ain't got no time for an action guide.
But anyway, so like I was saying, so Bernadette was having a difficult time, and finally she makes it there and gets the coins, and she's like, oh, thank God. But every time she would fall and have to fast travel back up, because at first she was just walking back up, but that took like 3 minutes to get up there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so she gets them, and I was like, well, just so you know for future reference, that's not the only way to get those. And I fast traveled up to the top where she was, and I ran over to the edge, and I jumped down, I threw my hat, and then I got the coins in like 2 seconds. She was like,
fuck you, I want a divorce.
She did say fuck you. She didn't say I want a divorce, but she was like, fuck you. Like, and I was like, you gotta learn to Mario. Like, there are like so many things in this game where it's like there's one world where you have to use these critters to like, you throw your hat at them, and then they come flying at you and they explode.
Yeah.
And that's one way you can get around these obstacles, or you can jump off the ledge to the side and throw your hat and then dive and just get around it real quick. And so it's really learning the mechanics of how you Mario, like how he interacts with the world and stuff like that. But yeah, I really wish I could spoil like the end. And I don't want to have I don't know if a
Please
spoiler
don't. I still
cast
have
is
not
necessary.
yet had the New Donk City thing spoiled for me. I know there's a crazy thing at the end of that.
Do you fight Hitler?
Hitler is in the game.
I plead the fifth. But yeah, like once again, music's great, the ending's great, the post game stuff is fucking like I said, Nick. The day I finished this, I was going to stop my stream, but like I kept going. Like I could not put the fucking game down.
This is very much a page turner game. Like it doesn't. I mean, honestly. It's too early to say how I feel about it in like comparison to other, like I think Super Mario Galaxy is like one of the most just ingenious fucking games in the series, just because of like the sheer amount of variety to the level design, and like this doesn't quite have that because like the guy, I forget who it said in the comments, said something about it was King Carey swapping out a bunch of like linear levels, like there are so many different levels in Mario Galaxy, but they have swapped them for these
super linear.
Yeah, it's swapped them for these like bigger, grandiose levels, but like they pack so much into it, and there's just so much shit to discover, and it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I also love. I probably only scratched the surface too of like all the different things you can like possess with your hat.
Oh yeah, but I've beaten the game, and there's like 4 or 5 things I haven't possessed yet.
Does
So
it
I'm
tell
like,
you
what
like how many there think
in the menu? You can see which things you have and haven't possessed. It'll just be like blank if you haven't
Like
possessed
an encyclopedia.
Like I think one of my new favorite ones was like I just went to the Lost Kingdom yesterday, and the little like caterpillars that like can extend out.
Those things are so cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god!
like the little
when I
sound
was-
they make.
When I was playing that, I was thinking about Snake Pass when we were talking about that earlier this year, and I was like, I wonder if this is better controls than
It is.
Snake Pass
is.
because it's so fun. Like it's so fucking fun using those caterpillars.
But like I said, what?
Having never played a Mario game before properly, I am looking forward to playing this.
Wait, what did you say? You said you
He's
have
never played a Mario game.
I'm sorry, I take that back. I've played Mario Galaxy on PC.
what?
I guess
Yeah.
On Dolphin? Or?
Yeah.
I
Dolphin.
did. I used the mouse to collect star bits. It worked. It worked pretty good, actually.
I
But, I mean,
So-
I've never played on a Nintendo
There is
console.
so much wrong with that.
Nope, not at all.
But yeah, this game delightful 100%. Like I
can't wait to get the soundtrack
I
for
played
this
it
and jam
plus
the fuck out.
30 plus hours right as of now. I'm still, even though I finished the game, whatever, I still, every time I go to a level, I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just check out which stars I missed. Yeah, because when you beat the game and you go back and you unlock those extra stars, I'm gonna keep calling them stars. It will actually point them on the map where they are.
Yeah.
The original ones it won't still show you, so you kind of have to still figure those out. But yeah. I'm not done with this by any means. It's like Nick was saying. I love playing it in
bed.
Yeah, in bed. Yeah, I mean, for most of y'all have seen, I have like that opposable arm that I have,
Yeah.
so I just mount it above me and I lay in bed and I play it.
This is actually making it's a good argument for maybe getting one of those.
Oh,
myself.
totally. They're cheap too.
No,
Like
no,
15
just,
bucks.
Just get those glasses that have the mirrors that
Exactly.
point down.
Yeah.
So when you lay in bed, you can like read.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, totally. What was I thinking? That's
It's
the best.
much more cost efficient.
By the way, I love stacking Goombas.
Oh, that's pretty
Oh
good.
my god.
This
But see,
is
like,
in
watch
Sand
this.
Kingdom?
Watch this. Instead of hitting
Yeah.
that, I can just throw my hat and jump over.
Oh,
You know,
wait,
stuff
I
like
have
that.
done this.
It's learning like how to get around without having
yep,
to.
yep.
The races are a good example of that.
Yeah, the races. Yeah, you really do need to
Look,
like.
you can fucking
The
stack.
bouncing race, I fucking love that one.
I love
in
that. Look at
the-
this shit.
You
Fucking-
you didn't?
No, yeah.
like
Well, there's
10
some
Goombas
post
high.
game
It's
stuff
beautiful.
makes
That's better?
it really fucking annoying.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, you have to do like a 3-lap race, and I still, honestly, I still have no idea how the bouncing works. I don't understand it.
Dude,
I understand you're
the
supposed to
bou-
bounce
Oh,
right
that
at the
was
end,
That was actually really cool. No?
yeah.
I mean, like in general,
And then I fuck it up right here because I
Dude,
accidentally did L left trigger instead of Y,
Yeah.
so I did a ground pound. Yeah.
I mean, it gets a lot harder than like that first one you have to do. And
Oh
that's-
no, yeah. Well, go
'Cause
watch
that first one's really
Go
fun.
watch my fucking from the other night when I was playing it. You have to do 3 laps, and they are like the fucking like the first 3 times I played it, the people in first, second, and third, I could never even catch up to them. But yeah. Anyway, it's game's fantastic.
Or get wrecked.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yep.
Super Mario Odyssey
So
continues to be
good.
dope as shit. While we're at it, why don't I just go ahead and touch on the third game that came out on October 27th?
What's that, Nick?
Assassin's Creed Origins. You gonna write that down?
Oranges?
Oh, hang on.
Sometime.
Hang on. Hang on.
Could have just wrote ACO.
The world stops for Christmas.
Oranges. We're starting at 49.34 and go.
Is my mic low?
Is it?
Go.
There's people are saying my mic is low.
We don't have time. Go.
Yeah, can you turn me up a little bit, or is my mic
Here,
off?
I'll reseat it real quick,
Yeah.
Nick, if it, just so we can be sure. I don't know if that's the actual issue. Go, Nick.
Testing 1 2. Yeah, that's holy shit. I think my mic might have been. I don't know how long that was happening.
Restart.
Okay.
Anyways, Assassin's Creed Origins. I've put about almost 26 hours into it at this point, and sometime between last week and this week, like last week, I was like enjoying it, and I was kind of like, I'm still experiencing a little bit of the Assassin's Creed burnout. It hasn't quite dug its claws into me quite as much as I was hoping. But it was still like all the improvements they had made were still really cool. Sometime between last week and this week, this is, I think, becoming one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games.
Really? That's high praise, Nick.
Yes, and the
High praise.
high praise.
I would like to go back and check the tapes. I feel like you say that every time you play an Assassin's Creed game.
Well, I mean, I do. First of all, Crispy, in my defense, I do think this is a series that makes, even if they're incremental improvements, they do get better, with the exception of Unity being like the one that just kind of crashed and burned. And if you remember, I didn't even finish playing that game. I stopped.
I did.
But you finished that game? Like the story? Holy shit.
Who's the true fan?
Fuck off.
Damn.
But
You haven't even been to Europe.
everything up until this point has been incremental, but the games that have come out, I think, have gotten better and better.
Well, obviously they do make improvements.
This is the first game that feels like a dramatic improvement over the rest of the series.
It's like much more of an RPG kind of.
That is, I think, where it's kind of won me over in the past week or so. I've really.
But you're rubbish at RPGs,
Am I? Maybe.
right?
Yes.
He loves Final
Why do I have
Fantasy
that? I have
IX.
that
I mean,
impression somehow.
I have that stereotype of Nick as well, but I don't know if it's true.
Oh, well,
No, I mean, I think the difference being like, Brad always gets deep into like menus and stats and things like that, and I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. This is very much like the RPG without necessarily having to spend shit tons of time in menus and
action
and
RPG.
you don't really micromanage your character as much. I mean, you compared to other Assassin's Creed games, you spend a lot of time choosing your weapons and stuff like that, and choosing your gear, because there is a lot of it. And not only can you
climb the top of that pyramid?
yes, and I was streaming the other night, and I was like, I'm gonna climb the pyramid now, because there's a synchronization point up there, right? Mm-hmm. And I climbed to the top, and believe it or not, climbing to the top of these pyramids is actually kind of a pain. It can take a long time, because there's only a specific handhold, and you kind of have to jump left and right.
Just run up
and
the
if you
side?
miss one, it's too steep. If you miss one, you actually go sliding until you find another handhold and you grab it, and then you have to go back. So it took me like 10 minutes to climb this thing, get to the very top, and realize I climbed the wrong pyramid.
Oh no!
And then I was like, fuck it. And then I was like, I went and did a mission. And then I was like, you know what? It's been whatever. I'm gonna go try it again. And I went climb the pyramid again. Took about 10 minutes again. Get to the top. I did it again.
Jesus.
Climbed the wrong. It took me 3 tries to climb the fucking correct
You know what they
pyramid.
call them?
that's pretty
Nick?
shocking.
But
Pyramid scheme.
anyways, but the footage I chose
snap.
to record is
for
actually the
effort.
first. So you actually go into the pyramid. There's like a tomb.
There's like
Right.
no loading in that at all.
No, the whole world for the most part is seamless. I mean, sometimes you'll see cutscenes and stuff that take you to, and then when you load out of the animus and whatnot, there's obviously a break there. But for the most part, the world's pretty damn seamless. But this, so I've been spending a lot of time exploring and trying to get into, because like I said last week, like everything you do in this game plays into your character progression. Every single thing you do, whether you're hunting animals or killing enemies or discovering new locations or looting treasure or pretty much every single action you take gives you some kind of experience that goes back into your character to level them up.
So is this like the Far Cry method of RPGs?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they experimented a lot with the stuff with the more recent Far Cry games, starting with Far Cry 3, obviously, and it's gotten more and more serious. But they haven't really tried a lot of that stuff with Assassin's Creed until this game. Like they've fully leaned into that. So there is a fully systemic ecosystem
Well, I hope
in the
you like
game.
it, because the next 5 games will be like it.
I killed a bunch of dudes, and I was exploring this camp, and then I came back around, and a bunch of vultures had landed and were eating the corpses of the people that I had killed, and then I killed a vulture and got a feather, and I got looted them, got experience for killing the vulture, and there's hyenas that will hunt other animals, and there's tons of animals in this game, and they all interact all the time, which is really cool. But so I finally started spending a lot of time exploring, because I want to start leveling up faster, because it actually takes quite a while to level up in this game. So I've been kind of every time you discover any new location in the world, no matter how small or big, it gives you experience. So trying to find there's actually kind of incentive now to try and find all the areas in the world, which is still fucking massive. I've played almost 30 hours this game now, and I still
You're always feeling like you're moving forward.
Always.
Yeah.
Everything is always feeding back into that loop of
I've
progressing
not played
against your
Assassin's
character.
Creed since I think 4. I don't really, I guess, care about the story so much. I mean, it's not continuous deal, right?
Yeah,
story-wise.
it's. I mean, here's.
I mean, put it this way, I don't care about the modern plot side of it. I mean,
you're one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Which is fine. The thing is, I'm still trying to figure out how they handle because there is definitely a modern day component of this game, But I've only been forcibly taken out of the Animus into the modern day once, and I played the game for almost 30 hours. Dang. But you can actually manually exit the Animus at any time and go into the modern day and do things. And I'm wondering if it's more of like...
So I remember the past games was kind of more scripted. Oh, you spend X amount of time here and then you go back. And
and
this one seems like
I'm wondering if their solution... Because it is kind of a split audience. Like some people love it, some people hate it. And I'm wondering if their solution here is really to kind of like say, there is stuff to do and discover outside of the Animus, but you don't have to. You can kind of do it when you want.
Are you... Outside the Animus, are they doing that thing that they started doing after the Ezio trilogy where you're like in first person?
No. You are
So you're playing a character?
Yes. And I don't necessarily want... I mean...
Whom?
Hitler.
I don't know how much of this is a spoiler. I mean, it's not really... it's a new character. It's a lady.
Ooh, it's a lady.
Then if you can kind of see in the footage on the bottom right, there's like a D-pad thing right there, and it says Layla, and you can hold up on the D-pad, and you can just exit out of the Animus whenever you want.
Like using the D-pad?
Yes. And the stuff they're doing outside of there, I haven't quite grasped where they're going with that. But it's for someone like me who does enjoy that aspect of it, I'm still digging it, and it seems to me like they're kind of recommitting to some of the stuff that they've shied away from, because like Black Flag was their effort to like, kind of distance themselves from like the story they started with the Ezio trilogy and all that stuff, and it seemed like maybe they'd shied away from some of the more science fiction elements, like the what do they call them?
Hold up, isn't there like a giant snake monster in this game?
No, but also I haven't gotten far. So I haven't gotten far enough in the game because I've been spending so much. Like I get distracted so fucking easily in this game. I told myself when I was streaming the other night I was going to focus entirely on story missions. Right? Yeah. Didn't do a single goddamn story mission that entire stream.
This game looks damn good.
I mean, I spent last night. I spent an hour exploring the inside of a pyramid, and like there are. You
did more Tomb Raiding than in Tomb Raider.
I suppose you're right. Yes. And like I went and I found the Great Sphinx, right? Mm-hmm. There is a secret back door, like a tiny compartment you can slide into.
It's called the butthole.
There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of near the Sphinx's butthole. Yeah,
the sphincter.
Yeah. God damn it! You can kind of slide right into the Sphinx's butthole, and there's a whole underground compartment down there you can explore. And I found an area that like I was like, what the fuck is this room? And then I realized, so throughout the entire map, like one of the side missions that you're things you're collecting, like remember, and the big one was always in Assassin's Creed, was it 2, where you're finding like
flags?
It's
feathers.
The ones where you find like the video clips that are like,
oh yeah,
piece them together.
The truth.
Yeah, the truth. Which is still to this day like my favorite side mission in any Assassin's Creed game.
That was really cool.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite things about that game.
So in this game, his whole motivation, Bayek's whole motivation in this game is, for the most part, is he was the protector of a pharaoh, but his son is accidentally killed when they're trying.
Bayek's son or the pharaoh?
His Bayek's son. Mm-hmm. He's trying to protect the pharaoh, and then in the midst of this, like they come, like this order tries to assassinate him, but they accidentally kill his son. So he's going after the people who killed his son, obviously. But throughout the entire game, you're coming across these areas where you can sit down and you can look into the sky and see the constellations, and you're hearing conversations and having flashbacks of his son. And every time you do one of those, like it's like you collected one, right? And I was like, oh, this is okay. I don't know what this does, but when I went under the Sphinx and I found this giant room, it's like a big dome, and there was like 2 lights shining through these like holes in the ceiling. I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're shining on this thing in the middle, and I was like, oh, these all correlate to the different constellations that you unlock throughout the entire world. So when I get all of them, I need to come back here and do something. But like nothing told me that. I just found it, and then I put that together in my head, and I thought that was a really cool like moment. Wait, what'd you say?
Ark of the Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the time capsule from Atlantis still under the Sphinx's paw in the game? That was a real conspiracy theory for a long time.
Really?
There's something buried under one of the Sphinx's paws, and a lot of people thought it was a time capsule from the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah. I don't think they touch on that in this one. But they certainly... I found my first... So, like, ever since the ending of Revelations with the Ezio trilogy, like, there was some pretty heavy shit there in regards to, like, the aliens, right? and they kind of have not touched much on that since then. I found my first thing in this game last night where I was like, oh shit, this is like I walked in this big room underneath the pyramid. There was like a stone tablet that was like emitting all of these crazy lights, and then I heard a voice talking. Like I fucking love that shit. I love it, and I was like worried they were gonna completely write that out of the series, and it seems like they're kind of recommitting to some of that stuff. So I'm hoping maybe this game kind of kicks back up, like gets that story back on track. In my personal opinion,
Well, you know what? I'm pissed.
why?
So I wanted this game to suck.
Well, it doesn't.
I didn't want to have to play
It's
it.
definitely. I think it is without a doubt the best playing Assassin's Creed game
Son of
from a
bitch.
combat perspective and everything. I also had my first sequence on a ship in naval combat, which they've found some new ways to kind
Egyptian naval combat.
of. Yeah, we were actually traveling from Egypt to Rome to meet Pompeii. Is it Rome? Greece? I don't know. Where's Pompeii? Greece. Yeah, you're going to Greece to.
Oh, do they have the Greek fire?
Yes.
That was like, yeah, that was like a thing they did it on MythBusters at one time. You guys ever see that? Where like it was like an ancient.
They would.
It was an idea for an ancient weapon
mirrors,
that just.
That one or
Oh, maybe that. Well, I forgot about that one, but that was a real thing where they used the mirrors to like set ships on fire.
Yeah.
But then there was another one that was like some kind of device that was like a primitive flamethrower that would throw this kind of like napalm like shit.
Haven't seen that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they
Pompeii's
used
in
one.
Italy.
So
We were all
it
wrong.
sounds like they need to take.
All
a
I
lot
know is
more
you were
liberties.
going to meet Pompeii. So, and you see the amount. What is that?
To meet Pompeii?
Isn't that the?
I have no idea.
I don't fucking know. I can't. It was. I did this like a week ago. I don't even remember what it was.
Pontius
But you go to meet the ruler there and offer him something. So you're traveling between Egypt and Greece, and you're on a naval ship, and it plays out in very much the same way as like Black Flag did, but they've incorporated a few additional features, like because they primarily fire like arrows, like so you can like hold a button to have everyone on the ship like hold up their shield, and if you can time it just right, as soon as the arrows land, you can hit a button to have them immediately return fire, which is pretty cool. But you know, the ship combat's still pretty damn good. It's just obviously it's maybe smaller in scope. It's not quite as open.
Committing to well, you've not been committing to just doing the story, right? 'Cause you said you put what 20 odd hours into this. And you don't feel like
I'm doing everything, and honestly, I've spent 25 hours in this game. I think I've still maybe unlocked like maybe a third of the map. It's incredible. And also, the other thing I wanted to mention, this is kind of an session I have. I don't know if this is going to pan out, but they started doing an event that's until the 14th called Trial of the Gods, which I think is where the snake thing comes into play, maybe, Crispy. But there's going to be these multiple events you can do that if you beat these giant bosses, which the first one is Anubis, you unlock legendary armor, which I'm assuming it's like you get it piecemeal, and it's like eventually it's like a full blown like Anubis themed outfit.
He looks so happy coming out.
Yeah, but the first boss is Anubis, and they're like giant god like enemies. So yes, I think that is where it comes into play, but that is not part of the like story
The
canon
rigid
or
historical.
So
Yes.
my other question on this
Scriptural
is the console Assassin's Creeds that I've played have always been kind of, I don't know, they just run kind of jankily.
Yeah, they usually.
This one
mean-
seems to be like it's been pretty smooth.
it's fairly. I mean, it's smooth. I mean, it definitely has its fair share of
Like
jank, but
Ubisoft bugs.
nothing is so just nothing. I mean, when you look at the size of the map too, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
of course, there's going to be bugs. But for the most part, it's been a pretty smooth experience so far.
I know, I've just had nothing but bad luck with Ubisoft
It
games
definitely
on console.
It definitely does not have the same problems.
Syndicate
as Assassin's
ran
Creed
pretty
Unity.
well.
Yeah, Syndicate ran pretty well. The last Assassin's Creed game, honestly, I think that did not run well as Unity.
That was a whole nother. That didn't run poorly on consoles and great on PC. That was just a shit game. There was just so many bugs.
Oh my god! Did y'all see the I think it was someone who worked in QA at Ubisoft. They had like a Halloween party or something, and he came dressed as
Without the face or whatever.
yeah, without his
The
face
faceless
loaded,
dude with the eyes.
just the fucking eyes.
eyes in the mouth or
They're like
whatever.
touche Q&A guy,
That's
touche. Hope you have a job
fucking
tomorrow. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I think it runs great. And honestly, I haven't necessarily experienced the same issues you may have had, Jack, with Ubisoft games on console. Because I've played all the Far Cry games, I've played all the Assassin's Creed games on PS4, and for the most part, despite a few minor annoyances, they run pretty well. They're fairly stable minus a few.
There's a little thing like long load times and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, when you first boot up Assassin's Creed, it takes a while to load, but after that, there's almost no loading. So,
well, I mean, you could definitely tell that. Like, I would assume, like when he was crouched down and walking slowly through that tunnel, that was probably hiding. Like,
where you go to the little crouch spaces. Yeah.
Hidden load screen.
I also tend to sometimes when I'm recording footage, I tend to like walk slow and pan the camera around. Just because I like
cinematic flair.
I like to add in the cinematic flair and take in the world because I think the world's fucking gorgeous, and there's so much shit to explore. But yeah, that's all I have to say right now. I'm gonna try and do that first trial of the god, but I haven't. I basically it says recommended level is 40. I'm level 25.
Jesus.
And I have until the 14th, so I basically have about 4 or 5 days to level up 15 times. And I don't know if that's gonna happen, but
probably not.
I might try and do that heavily on Sunday when I stream.
Cool.
We'll see what happens. But we need to take a break. And when we come back, we have a few news topics. There's a couple more smaller games that we want to talk about briefly, and then a few news topics to cover. Yep. And of course, we'll answer questions from our supporters on Patreon. So if you're watching or listening to us, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break.
You played another game?
Oh yeah, I did play another game.
What'd you play?
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I played. So last week I decided. Well, actually, I did this right before. I think I did this the night before Halloween. I started Fatal Frame 5, Maiden of Blackwater on the Wii U.
Blackwater Bay.
Yes. Started that for Halloween. Decided to keep going with it. It's been on my list for a while. It's been on my backlog for a while. I didn't play it obviously before because it's kind of an awkward thing because it only came out as a download on the Wii U and that.
Was this a one that had to be translated?
No, that's Fatal Frame 4, which I've never played.
I can never remember which one.
Because that's even more awkward to try and play in any conceivable good way. Although there is a way, I just haven't got off my ass and done it. So I'm playing Fatal Frame 5, and I think I've played a lot of Fatal Frame over the years, guys. Kind of had to at the beginning of this whole thing, right? I can honestly say I don't think I've ever felt like I was legit having fun with Fatal Frame before.
Really?
You were just experiencing.
I was along for the ride and experiencing it, and usually freaking the fuck out. Do we have footage?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've got footage.
Chris Davis is
Please
here.
roll this footage.
Oh no!
Because I did record it, which is recording in and of itself is stressful.
I really fucked up on this one, you guys.
I'm sorry.
Can you start over?
No, I'm not starting. I'm not starting over. So yeah, I'm playing Fatal Frame 5.
I'm gonna take.
They've introduced some cool things in this game. One, obviously, you have the Wii U gamepad.
For a Wii
Correct.
U game.
Oh no, this is the perfect game for a Wii U game.
Yeah, and honestly, it's making me wish they'd bring this game over to the Switch or continue the series on the Switch. But Fatal Frame for one has always been super, super oppressive, right? There's no comedic relief in these games. It's just like dark, fucked up shit after dark, fucked up shit, spooky ghosts,
jump scares,
people making stupid decisions. Like, first of all, that carries over. Like, this is a game where you jump around between characters. There's just two different playable characters, and they both keep revisiting this mountain because they're looking for people who have vanished. Right? They always decide to do this at night.
Of course,
only at night. Don't know why.
Why would
whatever.
you do it during the daytime? Why would you want to be able to see things?
I don't know. But it's fucking weird. But what they've introduced, so the reason this game works so well on the Wii U, obviously you have the gamepad, so you are literally, when you go into camera mode, you can hold the Wii pad up and you can rotate it, whatever. Which actually makes streaming it kind of difficult. So I actually turned the actual motion control off. You can still rotate the camera with the Wii pad, but you don't actually control it. You use the analog sticks. Because otherwise, if you have the other setting on, it only shows the camera.
I remember Brad saying something about that.
So you can't stream it that way. Otherwise, it'd be really boring for people to watch. So, but it's still fun to do it without that mode on. And it's cool because like so every time you like snap a picture of a ghost, if you hit them and you do any kind of damage to these little like faces, like their face like breaks off of their body and like floats around them. And if you can ever get 5 of those little floaty faces or targets in the shot at once, it turns red, and then you can do a fatal frame shot where it does extra damage and pushes them back. Yeah, which is pretty cool. It's all kind of just like nice incremental changes over the other games in the series. But what I think this game, the 2 things I think this game does different that are really cool, actually. Well, 3 things. Like first, the small one being structurally, this game is a little bit different than some of the more recent ones. It's kind of, I like it's kind of chapter based. So you do a chapter and then you go back to like your kind of like Fatal Frame 3 was. You go back to like your like a safe place, whatever, and you talk to people and learn stuff, and then you go, when you're ready, you go back into to the mountain to do things, and that's kind of a big open environment. You go all over the place, and you kind of learn that area pretty intricately because you're always backtracking and going across. And so that's pretty cool. But the 2 big things I think are, one, there's a big emphasis on water in this game. So in the bottom right, you see that blue circle.
Yep.
If you get wet, whether it's rainwater or wading through a pool or whatever it is, 2 things. Aroused. You can actually like, first of all, you physically see the difference on your character. Like they have like dry states and wet states, and that's pretty nice. I'm not trying to be pervy here, but it's kind of nice. This game actually, I wouldn't expect this necessarily, but like this game has a lot of like secret costumes that you can unlock for like,
I've heard,
for the female character, and she's, maybe not dressed appropriately for this ghost hunting thing, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But when you get wet, you become more susceptible to ghost attacks.
Really?
So you have items that can actually like dry you off, but they're limited. So it can actually dictate how you navigate the environment to try to avoid going through pools or under waterfalls, whatever, so you don't get wet. Because like there was literally a time where I was like exploring this one tiny room and I was like soaking wet, and this fucking ghost kept coming back. I'd kill him, he'd wait like a minute, and then he'd come right back, and I was like, fuck, just die. But here's the other thing right here. This is the last. I was kind of waiting for this to happen in the footage, but some ghosts, when you defeat them, they'll kind of fall into like a kneeled state, and if you get to them in time, you can touch them, and then you'll like have a flashback, and you'll kind of see a cutscene of how they died, which is kind of cool. I forgot what they call it in the game. It's like a fatal glance or something like that.
For every one of them?
No, I don't think it's every one of them, but a lot of like some of the more prominent ghosts that like kind of play into the story. Because there's a lot of repeat ghosts. There's a lot of like smaller ones that you'll kind of see here and there, but like there's ones that will repeat and they'll appear in different places and whatnot. So when you see those, you can. I thought it happens right here, maybe not, but you touch them and then you see like it's like a really creepy cutscene too. It's like recorded on like really old, like an old camcorder, so it looks like a found footage kind of thing. But you can see like really creepy shit happening, and this game is still quite effective in terms of like just legit creeping me out. And a lot of that has to do with the oppressive nature of it. It's just that's claustrophobic. You're constantly tense playing this.
No chill.
There is no chill in this game because that's one thing I've always liked about the series is that ghosts don't always appear in the same. Like you can play the game twice and the ghosts don't appear on a very predictable. They're not like on a schedule. Like they don't show up in like at specific time. Like sometimes there's scripted ones, obviously, but a lot of times they'll just, if you wait in a room too long, it's like, hey, have a ghost, and that shit can be really creepy because they can go through walls, come from the ceiling, they can come out from under you. Which, like that first ghost I was fighting in this footage, I was like, where the fuck is the ghost? And then I looked down, it was like crawling across the floor and like trying to grab my feet. So yeah, I mean, I'm about like 6 hours into this, and this is kind of what I'm focusing on.
Is it kind of weird going back to a Wii U gamepad?
Yeah,
it's much smaller, no?
No, it's big, but it's light.
It's chunky though, right?
It's right there. I have one.
Yeah, it's quite large and
it's chunky by comparison.
No, it definitely it feels like it's a giant shell.
Here's
with
the
not
fatal
much
glance,
inside.
by the way. I think, but yeah, it's especially after playing the Switch so much lately.
Exactly.
It is man,
jarring.
I want Fatal Frame on the Switch.
Oh no, totally.
Which is great. Like I'm like
get that
the Switch
HD
is
rumble going on.
Yeah, the Switch is so successful at this point And you know, a lot of publishers are jumping on the bandwagon. They're like, we didn't think it was gonna be this successful. Like, I think Square Enix has said like they're committing to like doing way more stuff on the Switch. I'm hoping that maybe this game has like a resurgence.
Even if it's just a download title, I mean, it's kind of what it would be.
I mean, but it didn't used to be. Like the first 3 games in the series were retail releases. So
I've not played the 4th or this one. But.
Maybe the success of the Wii or the Switch might revitalize
I mean, when you got
that.
like Bethesda and Rockstar putting stuff out on it, I mean.
But that's not necessarily true either, because you know the original Wii was like super fucking successful, and Fatal Frame 4 never came out in the States, period, much less a physical release.
Among many other games.
Yeah, among other games. But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing this. If you want to catch me playing it, I'm been streaming it Monday nights. I usually do 3-hour sessions or so. It'll probably take me 2 or 3 more weeks to finish this one off. But I intend to see it through to the end. I know Brad said he didn't finish this game, so I guess I'll be the first to finish it on the stream.
Nice.
So that's Fatal Frame 5, Maiden of Blackwater.
Cute.
You've been playing a game, Nolan?
I have. And I think it was...
Don't write this down, Crispy.
Yeah. The other day, I was kind of I wasn't feeling Evil Within 2. I was playing. I was doing okay. Just, for some reason, wasn't in the mood.
Weren't in the mood.
So I decided to pick
clearly, based on the game you chose to go instead, you were in a very different kind of mood.
Yeah, but it was a dumb mood to be in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I started playing Cuphead. I had watched Carlos actually finish the game on the feed last week.
Oh.
And I was like, I'll check it out. I've heard good things about Cuphead. I've heard it's Dark Souls, this side-scrolling Dark Souls.
2 goals, 1 Cuphead.
Exactly. And so it's definitely for what it is very good. The game. Jeez, Nick.
Sorry.
The game looks good. It definitely captures that 50s era cartoon vibe very well. The music is good. The controls are tight as fuck. Like, it is. Jack was actually watching me capture this footage before the show tonight, and we were kind of talking about how, like, it's one of those games where when you make a mistake, like when you get hit, it's your fault. You fucked up. It's not like, oh, that was horseshit game.
It's responsive, extremely responsive.
It's very responsive.
I think it has to be, considering how much shit's going on screen. Yeah. If this game came out and it was like not tight as fuck, like, it would have been a total failure.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, well, like I said, with that big giant trumpet guy going wah. Yeah, it's very, like it said, it has that.
That was a tuba.
Sorry, thank you. That tuba. It has the feel of the 50s. I'm sure some people are. I don't actually know how many people that play this are nostalgic of that era. Yeah. I think most of the people who liked that, who were around during the cartoons that era, probably don't play games like this.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us who are kind of. See that I knew that was dumb of me to have jumped right there. But anyway,
so dumb.
None of us were around during that time, but I think a lot of us can appreciate the cartoons of that era and have seen them in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I don't really know how much have we talked about this on the feed yet at all?
I mean, Carlos talked about it.
That's right.
That one week he was here.
Yeah.
This is one of those games I know I'm not good at, but man, that art design carries it.
It does.
For all its tiny flaws. I mean, there are some flaws. You and I discussed earlier about how there's some things that pop up in the background that are covered by the foreground, and things that can feel a bit cheap.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's very few and far between. There's a couple of levels that... I mean, he's actually further than I am. I'm stuck on the genie. I'm not good at this kind of game, but...
The persistent feel the whole time you're playing this game is, man, it's a good thing you're so fucking pretty.
Yeah, no,
but what makes it worse is when you die, you get your little thing where it shows you how far to the end of the level you're just like, man, I can do it.
Dude, so you don't even know, Crispy.
I've been playing it.
I know, but still, when I played this after playing Evil Within, I was like, I'll play something else. Played Cuphead, and on this level, I ended up rage quitting and ended up playing Mario.
Wait, which level is this?
It's in the second area. It's one of the coin collecting levels you have to do after the first thing you unlock.
Yeah. Did you find it made a difference changing your dash to the trigger?
So yeah, that is another thing, and I can't fucking appreciate Jack enough for this. I remapped the dash on my controller from Y to right trigger, and it has fucking changed my world.
Because you don't have to take your finger off the fire button at all.
You have to.
I can't believe I never fucking thought about that.
I can't believe that's not the default.
Yeah, exactly. Why is that not a default setting?
It seems like a bit of an oversight for sure.
Wait, did you uninstall the game, Nolan?
No, so I acted like I did, but I actually didn't.
You lied to the viewers?
No, I was going to, but the problem is it put up the prompt to actually delete it on a different screen, and I couldn't find it, so I was like, fuck it, whatever. But I was about
So you were trying to.
I was trying
You
to.
just gave up halfway through.
Yes.
I will delete you later.
When you get so far through a level and you see a little character then get right next to that flag.
So yeah, no. So what
"Ah."
happened to me was it was this level, and I tried it so many times. I kept failing, kept dying, kept getting to the final like section of the game, and would die, whatever. And so I finally get there, and I finally beat the boss. Yes. Right as I had defeated him, he had launched one more projectile.
A pair of lips.
It hit me. Yeah, a pair of lips.
Lips.
And I died, and I was just so.
Oh, they didn't count that
mad.
as the win?
No.
Oh,
In these
bullshit.
levels, in these side-scrolling levels, the win is when you get to the arrow.
Yeah,
at the
you've
end
got
of
to beat the
level.
boss and then jump
So
over something
until
else.
you get to that, you don't win.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like you see how it's a wall like this, and you see how it puts out that little horn, and it sends out lips. Right as I had killed it, and you can even see it sometimes when I defeat this first version of it. That as soon as it dies, it'll send out one last pair of lips sometimes.
Lips.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
you
I
can remap the.
It's
the
like
switch
Carlos
weapons
was saying.
onto the
There's
shoot button.
there's always these little things in the game where like you'll be dodging a lot of like bigger, more obvious threats, and then there's always like the one little guy
thing,
that's just there to get you if you fuck up.
I had that with
Like-
I had that with that daffodil flower boss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's so fucking annoying.
How many bosses are in this game? I can't remember if I asked this question when Carlos was here.
I don't know.
Didn't it used to just be bosses?
Yeah, I mean, it is
Yeah.
just boss. I mean, isn't it?
It still mostly is.
It's like
I mean,
just a big boss
have,
rush.
They have these like platforming levels like this, but this isn't.
Well, the whole point of the
majority of the
platforming
game.
levels is just to gain coins.
Yeah.
And to break it up, yeah.
Oh yeah, so that you can
But like most levels,
buy
when,
up-
So you can buy the
upgrades.
upgrade.
but most
yeah.
levels when you start, you're just like at the boss, aren't you?
correct. Most levels are just
Yeah, a lot
boss.
of them are just boss fights.
Yeah. Man.
You ended up doing the level though.
Yeah, no. In this footage, at some point, I don't know. I do beat the boss.
Well,
fucking
you saved up
finally.
those cards.
Well, yeah. So and that is the other thing is there's most levels are just the boss. So yeah, you kind of you have different phases or whatever. But you have your special abilities and the powerful attacks, whatever. And this one, I didn't really find much use. I mean, you can the first wall or two, you can. I guess there's only 2 walls, the first one and the last one. But you can use that special to kind of weaken it much quicker. But then
Is the wall the boss?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I got to him in that last footage. I think this next run is the one where I actually finish it. Yeah, so the more damage you do, you start earning these cards, and once you have one full card, you can use the special ability, or if you have all 5 cards, you can use like a super special.
Yeah.
That varies based on the weapon you have equipped. And the 2 weapons I have on this are just the regular shot and then this triple shot, which I use when I'm next to the wall, just because it gives me more chance to do damage to that one little fucking section that can actually take damage. And that's one of the things that kind of can piss me off with the bosses sometimes, is they're often.
Their weak points.
Yeah,
are
their
just
weak
like-
points are either very small, or they'll go into phases where they can't be damaged.
Well, they'll be available for like a second.
Yeah, oh yeah, just like a split second of availability.
I did like the one where you're the plane.
There's a couple of
Yeah,
levels
I
where
like
you
those
play as a
ones.
plane, and those are definitely fun.
What is he shooting? Is he just like?
It's a pea shooter.
Yeah,
apparently.
it's just like just from his finger, just. Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about was like the counters. You'll notice that anytime you jump in the air and you press A or the jump button, if you're touching anything pink, he'll do a counter attack, and that can be so frustrating.
Wait.
What?
Just because of how precise the hitboxes
Yeah.
are.
So
on those
you
items.
you have to obviously hit it before. It's not like a
See,
lot
like
of
that, like you can see him trying it.
it's not like a lot of games where there's like a grace period. If you fuck up, but if you hit it just in time, it'll still count it. No, this game is not like that. If you fuck it up, you're fucked. Like there's yeah. I guess that wasn't it. I don't know. Whatever. I wish I would have.
So close.
Yeah, I wish I would have the thing is, I record. How long was I playing this, Jack? Like
20 minutes,
20 something minutes. Even when I knocked down the footage to like 10 minutes, and then I also started it like halfway through the footage. I was like, I'm gonna capture when I beat it. But
the sense of satisfaction when you do that level though is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Let's just get over there.
Oh, you're cheating.
What are you talking about? Yeah. No, that's the final run through. Yeah, this is when I beat the boss.
This game seems so cool. It is.
It's hard. It's hard as shit.
If you think that you just won't get on with it, I would still recommend just watching a playthrough of it, because just watching people get through it in like 30 minutes is pretty insane.
Part of me wants to try though. I mean, like,
well, sure.
You know, the last game like that is comparable to this that I did, which I thought was pretty fucking hard, was Titanfall. Not Titanfall.
Shut the fuck.
Titan Souls. Sorry.
Titan Souls.
Titanfall is something else. Titan Souls was the last like boss rush
So
I
that
did.
last
And that game was
projectile that
pretty
came in
challenging at
could've
times.
killed
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game is just ready.
It looks like it's frustrating as fuck, but it also looks
It's
like
satisfying.
It also
When
looks
you-
like that feel you get when you win.
This was another thing
incredible.
too that really bothers me. On these little results screens, the colors on his gloves and his
yellow.
like shoes.
Well, and it's
are
also
fucking-
different on the overworld.
They're what?
They said that was an intentional.
Like on the overworld, he has yellow shoes and white gloves, and then on the fucking results screens, he has yellow gloves and brown shoes.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
That was intentional
It was an intentional detail they said on Twitter that
because
they
there's
didn't
all
expect
like
people.
coloring errors. And
Well, they said on like Mickey Mouse and things like that, there was
Yeah.
always color mistakes.
Yeah.
Just a little
it's
attention to
kinda
detail.
But so the thing about this game is it's one of those. It's a situation where the more you play it, the better you get. You know, you make slight improvements. The first couple of areas you just constantly die the first few times, but then you learn the attack patterns and stuff. But as Jack and I were talking about when I was playing it, is often what will happen is you'll get so complacent because I've done this section 40 fucking times. You'll end up being sloppy and take a hit when you really shouldn't.
See, that's a lot.
It's
like
repetition.
I remember. I clearly remember a time in my life when that's how I felt every time I think about starting Dark Souls. I was like, that's what's gonna happen, and I'm like, I'm gonna hate it. But then I ended up doing it, and I ended up playing all those games and loving the shit out of them, despite the fact that they handed my ass to me like on multiple occasions. So like, maybe I just need to suck it up and try it. I'm not gonna get to it before the end of the year. It doesn't really matter, but
Yeah.
it does look cool as hell.
It is
It
one
is,
of those that you get frustrated with it, and then you tend to do worse. The
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
frustrated you get,
You
the more.
need to stay calm.
You
just gotta walk away.
And the thing is, my biggest problem, I feel like one of my biggest flaws as a gamer is like my inability to walk away from a challenge.
Oh,
like,
no, I will.
Like
You let it beat you.
I will.
I let it beat the shit out of me until I get so fucking pissed, and I know I should walk away from it and come back to it, but I know if I do it, it's like gonna ruin the rest. Like it's gonna ruin my night or whatever. So I'm just like I can't walk away, and then I ruin my night anyways by pushing through things like
So
that.
that's what I was saying the other day. Like Cuphead was pissed me off, so I stopped and I started playing Mario, and it was delightful.
Good. Mario seems like a good palate cleanser after something like that. Anyways, Cuphead. That's Cuphead. We have some news to discuss.
Oh, we don't want to talk about my game?
Wait, you had a game?
Yeah, I put one on the quick mentions.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead.
So we don't have a...
No, I didn't. I
Okay,
didn't.
hang on, let me write it down.
Sorry.
And the current time is 1 hour, 41 minutes.
Did you bring footage of this?
And no, it's in quick mentions.
Oh, sorry.
Well, quick mentions usually don't get overlays.
No. Oh, they don't? Okay. Well, anyways, I played Call of Duty World War II. I played through the whole campaign.
Oh, really?
And I played a bunch of the multiplayers.
Is it worth red boxing for campaign?
It's worth red boxing for campaign. The
Well, if
campaign's
you
actually
beat
pretty
it,
good.
Like that quickly, then sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the campaign is like 11 missions or something like that.
6 hours or so.
Yeah, it's like 6 hours. And it's actually pretty good.
First of all, cool question. This is... How many other campaigns have you played from...
I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops 2.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't finish Black Ops 2 because I didn't like it. The one that always sticks in my mind is Call of Duty 4. I think it's still the benchmark, the greatest campaign that series has ever
I'd say
done.
2. Still.
The original Black
Modern
Ops
Warfare 2 is great as well, but I think I still think one...
COD 2, not Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
There we go.
I think the original Black Ops was really, really good too.
Yeah, I like the original
Call
Black
of Duty
Ops.
4 and Modern Warfare 2 were really good.
I guess my question is, where do you think it
I don't think I
falls?
played 3. I think that this story is probably on par with like the Modern Warfare 4 era kind of stuff. They maybe not quite the first Modern Warfare, because there aren't as many moments in the game where like radical shifts in gameplay, kind of supplement what's going on.
Yeah, the AC 130 or something like that.
Right, yeah. I mean,
we kind of expect it now.
They do stuff like that. They do stuff like that in the game. So like there will be scenes where like especially once you get into Germany and like you're seizing like Aachen is a town that you do a couple missions in where you're trying to seize this German city, and like you'll play as the infantry guys going to like take the library or something like that, and then you'll switch over to the armored division where like the tanks are trying to roll through town to like give them support and shit like that.
Sure.
So there's little things like that. There's one mission where you you fly a plane, but it's pretty on railsy. Like it's you're escorting a bomber group, and then like these German planes are flying in, and they have a mechanic where like if you lock on to an enemy fighter and you hold the left trigger, your camera zooms in into like a gunner position, and your plane is literally kind of just following that plane.
So you don't have to worry about
piloting. It's not like super simulation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with the original Modern Warfare is it changed gameplay so much at times. It was different. Like that had never been done in series. So that's why it's more memorable. Now you kind of expect it.
Yeah, you're not really jumping like a couple missions like that where you're doing the tanks, and where you're the one plane mission you're playing as different characters, but most of the time you're playing as the main guy, whose name I honestly can't remember anymore. He's just kind of like white dude from Texas.
BJ Black.
Cold Black.
We'll just call him Cold Black.
But his other like his unit, like the 4 or 5 guys that are like always around him throughout the game, and your sergeant and your lieutenant are the ones who are like kind of cool, and you're kind of like watching them do all this shit. The campaign starts with D-Day, and then it goes through to basically the end of the European front of the war.
But does Hitler show up?
No, Hitler does not show up. But you do go through a concentration camp at one point. You like after it's.
I've heard the campaign's actually pretty good.
The campaign is pretty good, and a big Daniels. That's what his name is.
Is there anything in the game? Is there any mission in the game that you would say? I know people love to bring this up when they talk about Modern Warfare, but like all gillied up, that mission in Modern Warfare is
the sniper
still
mission.
one of my favorite like first person shooter missions. Period.
There are missions that are very similar to that, and I think in general the campaign here is pretty similar to like the Modern Warfare era Call of Duty campaigns. Probably about as good as they are.
Okay.
It's just not as like new, you know? Like if this game had come out, if this had been Call of Duty 4, I bet people would talk about it the way they do Modern Warfare.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That Call of Duty has struggled with like I wouldn't even say struggle, because I don't even think they're trying. Like they reinvented themselves with Modern Warfare, and then from that point forward, that's kind of been Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They tell cool stories, and they have great set pieces and stuff like that.
But people expect it.
I mean, there are some really cool set piece moments in this with like, especially like once you push into the German front, and like you're getting these levels that like take place in winter, like in these German forests, and like everyone's like hiding in these like foxholes, and there's artillery going off everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it gets really cool. Like there's some really neat set piece moments. The shooting is still really fun. The weapons are really responsive. They feel really good.
Yeah.
And the story is really compelling. It's not I'm pretty cynical about Call of Duty, like a lot of us, you know, because it is overplayed, and it's kind of, you know, we kind of smirk at the competitive scene for it, but these games are actually, I mean, this one at least is really well made, and despite my prejudices,
they're very competently made.
I haven't played any of those. I haven't played any of the last few, so I can't speak to.
Last one I played was Advanced Warfare.
Same here.
But it's got a very like kind of. It's maybe toned down a little bit from what Call of Duty's been recently, only because recently they've been so embroiled with like doing the sci-fi stuff, and they're trying to get more into like those other Call of Duty games are very much concerned with kind of like the humanity of warfare, or like what the future of warfare is going to be like, and the moral implications that come with that. So they talk about warfare as a subject a lot. This game is a little bit more of like a Saving Private Ryan, like Band of Brothers, like the resilience of the Allied will to like, you know, stop the Nazis. So it kind of comes off as a little, you know, little muted compared to
more restrained.
Right, compared to like, you know, fucking mech suits and spaceships and shit like that.
You know why I want to play this one?
What's that?
Because I have never played a Modern War, or a Call of Duty game set in World War II.
Really?
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the first 3 were World War II games, and then they did World at War.
I have played only the games since Modern Warfare 1, and I skipped Blops 3, and I think I've played every other campaign. I quit in the middle of Blops 2 because I didn't like it.
Well, this is a good one. Cool. I mean, like, they do a lot of stuff. You know, World War II is well-worn territory. We all know, you know, we've all seen World War II in media over and over again. I mean, I don't know about you if you've never played a Call of Duty, but like the beachhead at Normandy has been rendered in video games countless times.
Was it Medal of Honor Allied Assault was the first big one, right? Or was it Frontline? One of the two.
One of those. Like one of the,
but they did the big D-Day scene.
Yeah. So this game starts with D-Day, with the storming the beach, and I mean, you know what's happening, like you've seen Saving Private Ryan. You get the point, but it's really well done, and you find yourself kind of caring about the characters. There's like your buddy, like your kind of like your best friend in the campaign is a like second generation immigrant of a German Jewish family who's, you know, over there fighting the Nazis, and you know at one point he gets captured, and you're like, oh fuck, like what are they gonna do to him, you know? So this one gets a little bit more. It's weird because I played this after I was playing Wolfenstein. Okay, and then I played the campaign for this, and then I played the multiplayer. I didn't start the multiplayer until I finished the campaign, and the campaign or the multiplayer for this Call of Duty and Wolfenstein, you know, use this whole thing, like, okay, maybe not even counting Wolfenstein, but the campaign itself gets really like heavy about, not really heavy, but like it's treating like Nazis and Nazi Germany in World War II with like a bit of restraint, you know? Yeah. Like it's being very it's weird to say respectful because it's still just a fucking video game, but it's trying to not just make Nazis like these pulp, like, oh, we're goofy villains, you know, like you would see in Wolfenstein, you know. It's trying to treat it's trying to do the subject justice, and there is a level where you don't do any combat in this, but you like come across an abandoned concentration camp, and like you're going through the camp, and you're seeing like the remains of like what like they don't shy away from the subject of the Holocaust, you know. This is what Nazism really was, you know? And then you finish that campaign and you start playing the multiplayer, and the multiplayer is like a fucking World War II themed carnival, like and it's just really fucking weird. But
oh my god!
Like, so the multiplayer with the single player of Wolfenstein is more tonally
right. It's like there's a lot of video game Nazis this year, but like actually playing it with kind of more of a focus on the real life horrors and atrocities committed by the Third Reich is kind of like, okay, wow.
Wolfenstein is more like a Tarantino characterization.
Right. Yeah. It's like Mecha Hitler and you know,
fuck
shit
it.
like
I'm gonna play Wolfenstein and Call of Duty back to back.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but it's really good. It's a good story. The villain, I mean, the villain, quote unquote, like the main antagonist of the story is like your sergeant in your unit. So like that's a really interesting dynamic where like there aren't really like Nazi characters that you're like following or like dealing with. It is all 100% like from the Allied perspective. So like all the conflict comes from within this like group of 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
So you get to know these characters and you feel for them, and I think the characters are portrayed really well. A lot of the acting is really well done. The writing's pretty good. I think if you're looking
Man.
for like a good 6-hour shooter campaign, I think this new Call of Duty's fucking pretty dope.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Get it done before the end of the year. I should have made an overlay for this, and maybe we should have gotten footage because I would have loved to see some of this campaign.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been kind of wondering about it.
Well, I mean,
well, thank you. I appreciate you talking about it though, because I do. I
just didn't have time to get footage.
I know. I legit do want to play this. Maybe I'll squeeze it in before the end of the year. All right, we do need to move on to news.
Yep.
So not a whole lot, but there's a few things we definitely don't want to gloss over here. I think. I guess just pick one, Nolan. I know you can't see from where you're. Okay. So Take-Two. They're the studio behind, such huge hit titles as Grand Theft Auto.
I've heard of that one.
Red Dead Redemption, BioShock.
I've heard of those.
They have, and I don't have the quote in front of me, but they have reiterated their support and their commitment to, as they put it, quote unquote, recurrent consumer spending. You may know that as microtransactions for all their future
let's
games.
Just call it what it is.
This means we're going to be seeing microtransactions in any future Grand Theft Auto game, any future Red Dead Redemption.
Well, let's face it, we haven't had
but
a GTA 5 DLC.
We hadn't. Red Dead Redemption didn't have microtransactions in it, so I don't know how they're going to handle it.
But they're very much treating this as like this is what that studio's philosophy is. Very much the future of.
It's a way for them to make money.
Yeah, the future of successful game development as a being able to make the kinds of games people want to play while also being able to make the money back that we need to make or want to make back. Their philosophy is we're going to do that with microtransactions. However you feel about that, I know a lot of people are obviously going to be very up in arms about it. I'm not super pleased about it either, but at the same time, I would also like to have another Red Dead Redemption, another BioShock, another Grand Theft Auto, and if that means there also has to be microtransactions sprinkled throughout those, I would rather have them than not have them at all.
It's how they're handled.
It seems also very kind of it's very much kind of against EA's approach that we've seen since the closure of Visceral Games and everyone started that whole panic about the death of single player games and everything. And we've had this conversation several times since that happened, but like we're starting to see more and more companies kind of come forth and talk about their approach and their solution to this, and Take-Two is very much just being very straightforward about like we're gonna maintain our success through microtransactions, but that also means we're gonna be seeing more BioShocks. They've even confirmed that they're gonna be releasing another. This is another thing in the news. I just didn't create an overlay, but they've confirmed there's gonna be a major release from one of their major properties next year in 2018, which they have not announced yet. This is in addition to Red Dead, which means we could be either getting a new BioShock or a new Borderlands next year. So they seem very much committed to making those kinds of games, which I love those kinds of games. They just have been very forward about the fact that, yes, there's going to be microtransactions in them. My hope being that they can find the balance, right? They can do it without being gross about it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
The only thing we'll talk about again in the future, obviously, when we know more about what they're doing, and I guess Red Dead Redemption will be the first kind of look into that. So we'll talk more about that when that actually comes to pass. The other news topic we have, Nolan, is Telltale Games has laid off about 25% of their entire workforce.
So the people who worked on Minecraft. I don't know. I would hope so.
It was a lot of. It was their studio has gotten quite large, obviously, because they work on so many projects.
I think it's one of those situations where they became super bloated because they had so many projects on the works, and so they just kept having to hire and hire. And I think they finally realized that that's not the best.
I think this may be like them kind of realizing the diminishing returns that they've had.
And they just got too ambitious.
Like maybe they are realizing they need to focus their efforts on fewer projects and make those projects better and more ambitious than.
Yep. So long as we get a Wolf Among Us 2 that actually comes out.
That is happening, right? They did.
Yeah, they've announced it.
They announced it. Yeah.
I mean, apparently that 25% is a pretty
sizable,
large number of people too.
I also saw people like I think it was Ken Levine. I saw him on Twitter saying, "Hey, by the way, anybody out there who lost their job at Telltale, if you're looking to be a writer for that kind or a similar style of game, hit me up.
Yeah,
because he's working on it. He's working with a smaller team on a game that is pretty much at this point sounding like something similar to BioShock, or like maybe not thematically, but structurally, kind of that game. And he was very forward on Twitter, just like, hey,
I think that often happens when big layoffs happen. Devs and bigger development companies will be like, hey, we're hiring.
Yeah, and we talk about layoffs on on this podcast. Most podcasts, when we talk about games,
it's
layoffs happen
life.
all the time in this industry, and that's the one thing. Like that's one thing. Like I always thought about, like people asking like, hey, Nick, you like games so much. Why did you ever think about getting into games? It's like, well, part of that reason has always been like, it seems like it'd be very stressful because you never know.
Industry.
You never know when you're going to lose your job.
It depends on what position you're in. I mean, one of our friends that we know, Nate. I mean, how many different games has he worked on?
I feel like every time I talk to him, he works for a different studio. He went from BioWare to Bethesda.
BioWare, Bethesda. Who was he?
Arcane or something like that.
I don't think he worked at Arcane.
I mean, he doesn't even live in Texas anymore. I think a lot of that has to do because he's been jumping around so much.
Well, that's the thing. You can't think of it as like he lost his job. It's
like
production finished.
And
they had way too many people working on not enough, so they lay off a bunch of people until they maybe eventually have something else. So that's what happens: is you work on a game, the game ships, and then you're done. Yep. You have to go find another game to work on. The only people who stick around are usually a very small core team of people.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I noticed
this happens a lot.
They did a bunch of layoffs with racing companies over the last couple of years. They did like I think it was Codemasters went out. I think Evolution, and all those people, and every one of those, it seemed like they were banding up and saying, "Hey, you lost your job."
And this is also how new studios are built. A lot of times,
that's true.
So hopefully a lot of those guys land on their feet.
Yeah, hopefully.
No, yeah, I definitely hope so.
I hope they find a place because. That really sucks to just walk into work one day and hey, you're fired, and who knows like what kind of health insurance these people might be getting through work. So I mean, I hope they all find a decent land.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like most of the time, it's kind of cool. Like if you can accept the fact that okay, I might end up shipping a product and then having to move somewhere else, but like knowing that there's probably going to be a time where you are in between jobs can be like scary.
Oh no, that's
so even if you know that you're most likely going to land on your feet because that's kind of the nature of the industry, it's just kind of like that might not be for everybody.
So we wish them luck.
We wish them luck. Hope everybody lands on their feet. And the last bit, this actually is breaking news. This happened today, a couple of
hours ago,
literally right before this podcast recording.
5 or 6 hours ago.
EA has acquired or is preparing to acquire Respawn Entertainment.
Yep.
Respawn Entertainment formed from. I can't ever remember their names. I always get them back.
Those guys from Infinity War.
Those guys, Vince. I can't remember the other guy's name. I apologize.
EA already did own them.
No. They broke off from Activision after that drama around Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
They've been kind of an indie studio for a while, and they've obviously produced Titanfall. That's been their big claim to fame, which has been pretty successful for them. And now EA is fine. I mean, EA published Titanfall.
That's what I'm thinking.
But they were not outright owned by
Titanfall
EA.
3 next year.
Probably.
Well,
the thing is, they've already confirmed that
they're working on a new Titanfall
They're working
game.
on 3 titles right now. They're working on a new game in the Titanfall series. They're working on a Star Wars game, and they're working on a unspecified VR thing.
A VR game.
After the recent Star Wars cancellation, I can't imagine people are too excited.
Yeah, but I also think it's kind
of
unrealistic to assume that EA is just out to cancel all Star Wars games.
Obviously not. But it just seems weird. Cancel one thing and then immediately start another project. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they've been working on the Star Wars game for a while, and not to mention, just my own personal first of all, I like what Respawn did. I enjoyed Titanfall 2 specifically. That's the one I played. But it seems to me like they're kind of the studio that makes a kind of a specific kind of game, and it's usually kind of a multiplayer focused game, which is why my expectations and hype for whatever Star Wars project they're working are kind of tempered. Yeah, because I have a feeling whatever it ends up being is going to be multiplayer focused. That isn't necessarily they could surprise me because Titanfall 2 had an excellent campaign along with its multiplayer. So if we get something like that from those guys, that could be awesome. But a lot of people are obviously very upset because EA is very much not in people's good graces right now.
No.
Let's just hope EA doesn't suck them dry.
And I think a lot of people. The thing is, they're trying to, representatives for the studio are already out there trying to kind of pivot this and
assuage people's doubts.
Yeah, and they're saying this is great. This is all good stuff because it's more resources. But when you think about it, when you think back to like the whole reason they started the studio in the first place was to get away, from
that big
Activision.
industry, yeah.
Not to say
And
that
you have to wonder if EA is any better.
Yeah, I mean,
The answer is no.
and the thing is, I think EA's library is more varied. Activision is very much kind of like a Call of Duty just fucking machine at this point. It's Call of Duty and what was it?
Destiny?
Destiny. Call of Duty, Destiny. I was starting to think of Skylanders. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. That's kind of like their thing.
They're not still doing Skylanders, are they?
No, I think that's shut down a while ago. But that for a while, that like when we went to E3 for like 2 or 3 years, Activision's booth was like a big Call of Duty thing surrounded by like Skylander shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, there is so much about that booth that I just don't want to be a part of. So I'm not going there. So yeah, I don't know what this means for Respawn. I saw the number, like it's estimated $455 million deal. Mm-hmm. That seems to me like a pretty high fucking number. Like
that's a lot of money.
I guess Respawn's been pretty successful.
Yeah.
if they're worthy of pretty big fucking numbers like that, I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes, or what if this has any impact on the projects they're working on. We don't really know anything about those projects yet, so it's gonna be kind of hard. By the time we know about those projects, any impact EA would have had on them will probably already have happened. So they're not even gonna disclose what happened. We're just going to assume whatever comes out is what they've always been working on. So
we'll just read about it in the postmortem.
Yep, there's that too.
Close.
I don't know what this means, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm guessing we'll probably have a Titanfall 3 by next year or 2019.
Definitely.
I hope that VR thing isn't something throwaway. That's it for news. Yep. So let's jump. We're coming up in 45 minutes. So let's jump straight into questions from our supporters on Patreon. That's right, fucking community.
We have one new patron.
We do.
One new patron, and his name is Brucey from 420.
Brucey from 420.
That's the username.
Brucey from 420.
Yep.
Huh?
So thanks,
cool.
Brucey.
Thank you, Brucey.
Being a patron. All our patrons can ask us any questions they want. First question this week comes from Chai.
I know that guy.
With the year ending, I'd like to ask Nick to rate the year in video game butts. Everyone else, please give Nick character suggestions.
Well, there's only been... First of all...
Dude, I think we all know number one.
Yes, 2B.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So...
That butt just don't quit.
2B is easily butt of the year, right?
So good.
It's got to be.
You should probably play that game.
So
yeah,
good.
you should, because she's got... Sorry. It's a great game.
Nice.
Butt. Great butt. And honestly, I do keep my finger on the pulse
of the butt
of butts.
The butt industry.
And I was actually I read this question earlier, and I kind of like looked through my
butts,
my list of games that I've played this year. Not a whole lot of butts this year.
Yeah,
disappointing year for butts.
It's been kind of a disappointing year for butts. I will give a shout out to maybe Aya from Assassin's Creed Origins.
Haven't seen.
A lot of y'all have no idea who I'm talking about, but I have. I think she's got a pretty satisfying butt.
Pretty butt.
But other than that, I don't think there's been a lot of butts.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
There's a good butt. Scarecrow says there's a good
was
butt.
Haiti this year?
No, Haiti was Haiti was like 2015.
Yeah, Haiti. That's an old game.
I don't. Scarecrow in chat says there's a good butt in Evil Within 2, but I'm having trouble remembering.
Peach.
Peach does not have the
Peach
best
is
butt.
Peach.
Seriously, who had? We're talking about specifically 2017 people.
Yeah.
I can't think of who had a great butt in Evil Within 2. What?
Oh, Pauline.
Mayor Pauline's butt's not that big.
Under that skirt, though.
She's wearing a pantsuit.
We're talking about a Mario character?
Oh, yeah, I guess it was a pantsuit.
She's wearing a pantsuit.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pauline.
girls, butts can look good in pantsuits.
Hers is... Yeah.
They can't.
Anyway, moving on.
Cobra says Ghost Girl in Evil Within 2? That's funny. No.
Nah.
She's dead.
Next question this week from Zero Skies. What would you consider your most stylish piece of video game themed clothing or accessory?
Like stuff that we actually own?
Yeah.
That's stylish? I mean, a lot of my stuff is just like, graphic shirts that I've gotten from like conventions, PAX, E3, that kind of stuff. I don't know if I have. I picked up some pretty cool shirts that I actually really liked at RTX this year.
That's what I was gonna say. I have a couple. Like I got some. I got like a Persona 4 Midnight Channel shirt that I think I really like. So I don't know if I talked about it before. When it comes to me and video game stuff, I don't really like very obvious. Like I don't like
the characters on
like the characters and stuff like that. I like the more stylized stuff. Like I said, it's a picture of a TV that says the Midnight Channel on it.
Oh,
like something very simple.
Funny enough, this
sorry,
was...
I'm sorry. Just time out for a second. Time out. I completely forgot Zelda's butt. Zelda's butt in Breath of the Wild.
See it once or twice.
There was a few scenes in there where I was like, "Damn, Zelda's got a butt. Look at that.
Fresh ass.
Look at that." Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
Okay.
Reborn reminded me.
But yeah, like I said, those are the shirts I tend to like the most. Like, there's been one I've been kind of wanting to buy, and it's like a polo, and it just in the logo is the King Kai's logo. So it's like a Dragon Ball Z. It's like very simple. Like that's the kind of stuff I like.
I actually really like at RTX this year. I got that Majora's Mask shirt that has all the masks kind of in a big circle, and it's just like solid blue with.
I actually won this one off a Twitter thing from Bethesda. It's a Wolfenstein one. It just has the logo on the back.
Yeah, but I like minimalistic and clean.
Me too. That's what I usually tend to go for. I do have a hat that's Mysterion. I like that hat. That's pretty cool.
My favorite one is my Kestrel t-shirt.
I do like your Kestrel.
I'm also still fond of the shirts we got at, I can't remember if it was PAX or E3, but the Last of Us shirts they were handing out before that game came out. When we went and saw the demonstration for that, they were giving out one, like there's a solid black one with Joel's face and there's a red one with Ellie's face. I got the one with Joel's face, and I still like that shirt quite a bit.
I've got that one from We Love Fine, the clicker, the full clicker.
Oh, nice.
That one's really cool.
What about the boxes from Catherine? The boxes, this is like polka dot ones.
I mean, those are great. I don't own them, but
boxes.
Totally should.
All right, moving on. Next question from SMG Sterling. If you wore Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey and were able to possess any person or thing, what/who would you possess and why?
Carlos.
That'd be interesting.
No, his gaming chair just broke.
Yes,
It'd be terrible to be Carlos.
Oh god. So it could be any inanimate object too.
Yeah, I mean within reason, I guess, just kind of similar to what you possess in the game.
I will not give a dirty answer. I will think of something family friendly because we're talking about Mario.
Yeah, family friendly.
Maybe I'd possess my car.
Maybe a T-Rex.
Drive around, but like be the car. That'd be kind of cool.
Car would be cool. Helicopter would be better.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to deal with all that traffic.
I mean, I have
right?
to find the helicopter.
Traffic
first.
is the worst.
I have to find the helicopter first.
If you would spread through the community like the thing from the thing, and then you'd find a helicopter.
I would
pilot.
possess a killer whale.
You have to find a killer whale. You got to be realistic.
And you got to throw it.
That's pretty realistic. I could throw a hat at a killer whale.
I mean, where are you going to find a killer whale?
Go down to the beach.
The beach. Yeah. We're in Austin, bro. Where's the beach?
Put your water wings on. Oh, there's a killer whale.
This requirement didn't say you got to do it in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, I've got an idea. I would possess a sewing machine. And then I would use that sewing machine to make more Cappies. And I would make those Cappies possess other people, and I would make
How would you feed the material into yourself?
Because, they can kind of move and scoot around.
You still have hands when you're a sewing machine, right?
No, you don't.
You could.
No, you don't.
Okay, then I'll possess a 3D printer. How about that?
That's pretty good. I would possess a SpaceX rocket.
So that you could launch and then land?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
I'd possess
on that butt.
I'd possess a drone.
A drone?
A drone.
A dream.
All right, let's move on. Next question from Mr. Green Toast. Would you rather burp out farts and fart out burps? Or would you rather poop out pee and pee out poop? The pee out poop thing could be kind of interesting because it'd be like Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, definitely number 2. I don't want to burp farts.
Oh my god, this is disgusting.
You came up with that reasoning pretty quick.
No, you just think about it. Like if you're like, just be like, you know how like fish. Some of the smaller fish have like their poops are like little like
strings.
Yeah. Be like that. You would just kind of.
Okay.
Be like,
I definitely get where you're going with that, and I
sit
I
while you
agree.
wipe.
Yeah, that's true. You can't sit while you wipe.
Why not?
But
But
I feel like it would be painful, right? To extrude something out of your pee hole.
Exactly.
well, I think your body would.
I mean, all I can think of is like you know when people have like IVs and you like squeeze the IV bag. Like I feel like it would feel like that.
I think your body would have to
like,
be your. It's not like I don't.
Coming
was the
out of
question
your
just randomly.
pee-pee.
It just switches one day, or is that how our bodies are designed? Because if that's how our bodies are designed, I think that'd be kind of cool. Be like you know, like when you pee in the snow, but now you'd be like pooping, and it'd be like almost like icing a cake. Like you could draw out little
I feel like
and stuff.
It doesn't like other things don't swap with you. You wouldn't suddenly like I'm gonna be pooping in the snow. Instead, you would just pee in the snow, but out of your butt.
Yeah, but you couldn't control it. It would just be like a of like.
Would it?
I mean, right?
Oh, pee. Like,
do you think you pee more because you're peeing out of your butt, or would it be the same
It'd be
amount
messier.
that you normally pee?
Let's be real here, guys.
It'd be
I mean,
messier.
what I'm saying
out of their
is,
butt.
if you've got like, if it's like 5 ounces of fluid that you normally pee out in a pee, okay? When you pee out of your pee, it's a very
stream.
restricted
It's
stream,
small,
so
yeah.
it takes a little bit to work through the 5 ounces, right?
Yeah,
But
no.
like, if the hose was like, wider, it would take less time because it would all just kind
Like
of.
dropping a gallon of milk.
Right, right. So that's what I'm saying. Peeing would just kind of be like this water cannon kind of. then you're done.
J52 has the most important point here. You get far less blowjobs in your life.
Yes, you would.
I'm gonna go with the.
But
first
the
one.
But
ones,
you'd get more butt jobs.
but then, yeah, like
Oh
rimming
my
would
God.
be much more
Can I
popular.
just be the first to say that maybe we should put limitations on what questions can be asked?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All right, moving on. One Mr. Boy asks, what is your opinion on renting games from rental stores where you have time limits? Do you think it creates an unfair time rush to get through the game?
My guess is this person is young.
Probably.
Because that's how all rental stores work.
Yeah.
Unless you're paying for a
This
subscription
idea.
service like GameFly, every rental service has a time limit. Otherwise, they would never get
Yes.
games back.
Correct.
And yes, it sucks because I've been doing it for weeks now. Every week for the last 4 weeks, I've had a game out from Redbox.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've gotten to the point with like 2 or 3 games where it's like I've taken it back and I've been like, I'm really not done with this, but I don't want to pay for it anymore.
How quickly do you think you can finish it? Do I want to spend $15 renting this game? Or should I maybe consider trying to buy it? It's kind of one of those things.
But then if you've bought it, then you feel like you have more of an obligation because it's yours, but at the same time, you're more likely to keep putting it off.
That's
and putting
true.
It off. If you're Redboxing or whatever,
Yeah.
then you're more likely just to kind of blast it.
But it also could influence what games you end up Redboxing. Like, I have a feeling that might be why you played Call of Duty? Because you knew you
it's
could
not like
finish
you-
it?
You're not going to like
in-
Redbox Persona 5.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I was interested.
Anybody
in
who
Call of Duty,
Redboxed
yeah.
Persona 5 is a fucking monster.
Yeah, that's weird.
I hope they didn't even
But
bother putting that in
Redbox
Redbox.
didn't-
But that being said,
Redbox didn't have Persona
because
5.
of the lack of demos nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people out there that Redbox something just to see if they like it.
Yeah.
Spend like the $2 or
True.
whatever it is.
True, but then again, that automatically
And then carry
adds
on
$2
their
to whatever you were
What is,
originally
people
going to
are
pay to
talking
buy
about
it.
GameStop
anyways.
having some deal or something?
No, that's something we could have talked about in the news. GameStop is introducing a new rental service, like a subscription-based rental service. You pay a subscription to GameStop, and essentially it's like GameFly. You can rent games for an unspecified amount of time.
Get all their
From
scratch
GameStop.
discs.
Yeah, and then at
But
the
it's
end,
like one at a time.
I think it's one at a time. But if you and then you can decide to buy it at the end, I guess, or I don't know how that's going to work exactly. But it sounded kind of promising.
sounds like
I mean, I didn't expect them
GameFly.
to go that direction, but
They have to compete somehow.
GameStop's been trying to find a way to keep their business going and compete for a long time, and that seemed like that it kind of makes sense. So, we haven't had like a walk into a video store rental service in a long time. Blockbuster and Hollywood Video have been gone for years. So like maybe GameStop's going to kind of become the next.
Critta says you pay $60 for 6 months, and you get to keep the last game you rented. What? That's interesting.
That's really weird.
I don't know. I literally, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
What if you want to keep the third game you rented?
Nope. Gotta just rent it at the end.
Anyways,
really confused.
This is something we should keep our eyes on, and it might be something worth
investigating.
All right. Moving on. Next question from Cobra. Have you ever been turned off from playing a game due to its graphic content? Example, sexual or violent?
No. I'm pretty I don't consider myself
deviant,
squeamish.
I don't consider myself very squeamish when it comes to violence or sexual content or anything like that.
all that sick shit.
I mean, I like fucked up shit. I'm gonna be honest, but the conversation with The Last of Us that we had earlier in the show, I think that strictly like kind of was just weird because it was like graphic content in a trailer
with no context.
Yeah, with no context kind of thing. But like, as long as it's in context and it's appropriate for the tone and the story they're trying to tell, like,
but
it doesn't really bother me.
What you're getting yourself into when you go.
I remember certain cases like I remember people were very upset with. And I maybe rightfully so. Heavy Rain with the random like attempted rape scene or whatever, where she gets chased around her apartment. It seemed like it existed only so you could see her running around in her underwear. Yeah. Like the context was all wrong
because David Cage is an artist.
I didn't know this. Apparently, there's like a
god.
I saw somewhere there's like a hidden cutscene in Indigo Prophecy that's literally David Cage dancing with the female lead of that game in her underwear.
What?
Like it's like a secret.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, like he programmed himself into a game as a cutscene dancing with the female character in her underwear. I saw a screenshot of this. It seemed legit. I can't 100% say if it's true.
Would you be surprised?
I'm sure someone in chat must know if this is real. But if that's the case, wow.
For me, I don't really like. Usually, there's not really been anything I've had to like turn off. Usually I'll like kind of like, I didn't like that, but I usually will keep going.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've watched movies and stuff that have like made me like cringe and like look away and like freak out, but nothing that's made me like walk out of a theater or stop watching a movie. I remember going to see.
We did stop watching that one movie.
Which one?
Where those two guys were fucking the zombie girl.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, you're talking about Dead Girl.
Dead Girl. Yeah. That mostly. What's funny? I feel
that's a rough watch.
I don't know if we stopped watching it. There's probably any number of reasons we stopped watching it, but I feel like it was me and you and Bernadette, and then I think it was Emily, or was it Ami? One of my ex-girlfriends. And we were all together watching this, and the girls fell asleep.
They were both sleeping.
And then me and Nolan are just sitting there together in our room.
browsing Netflix, and we were like, hey, what's this movie?
And it's basically just me and Nolan in a room watching a movie about guys who find a zombie and start fucking her. Yep. It's kind of like, maybe
that movie is so
maybe we should stop watching.
Yep. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a good example.
Yeah,
I remember going to a theater to watch Cabin Fever when that movie came out, the Eli Roth movie.
Yep.
And I remember being in there. It was like a group of like 8 people, and like there's one scene where a guy like puts his hand up a girl's skirt and then comes back out, and it's like covered in like blood and flesh. Like her skin was just like sloughing off into his hand, and like all the women in our group just got up and left, and we're like, I guess I think we're all leaving by association. I didn't finish watching that movie until it came out on like a Blockbuster.
All right, anyway, let's move on. Final question for the evening from Heroes.
Cobra says, so your girlfriends fell asleep and then you two proceeded to watch porn together. Yep, pretty much.
When you put it like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
More or less.
To Jack, if you can kiss one of the guys on the couch right now, who would it be?
Oh, man.
I've been told I'm a really good kisser.
I've been told that too.
Damn it! They told all the guys.
Dude, it's got to be Nick.
What?
Oh, beard on beard action.
Maybe might get some.
You guys are gonna
start a fire.
Damn it! That's what I was saying, Nolan.
You just before the show, I was sitting on the couch talking to Jack, and I was like, "Jack, you've got a really nice beard."
He was hitting on me. I don't know.
I was like, I'm impressed. I'd kiss you back.
Well, fuck it. Let's go.
No!
Do it.
Good question.
You have to remember.
Maybe after the show.
You have to remember, Jack's European. It's very normal over there.
Just give each other a light kiss on the dick. It's a normal thing.
Just a little touch. Just a little touch.
It's a normal European.
Try anything once, twice if you like it.
Yeah. All right, that's all the questions this week. Thanks, patrons, for asking those questions.
Who asked that last one?
They're pretty good. Heroes.
Thank you, heroes.
Any question you want, we answer it.
Apparently, any question you want.
Thread goes up on patreon.com/4Player, usually a couple days before the show. Or if you're me and you forget all week, you post it like a couple hours
Hey, we still get plenty of questions, even if it goes up that day. So, no worries. And also, reminder, you also get early access to the podcast. It goes up a day early. It goes up, the audio goes up the day after we record it. So this will be up tomorrow morning. Man. All right. Time to wrap this show up. 4-player minute. We each say our hype, sweat, thank you, fuck you, or any combination of those. You can do all hypes. I don't give a shit. Who would like to start us off?
I'm ready.
Nolan is ready. Go for it.
Go! My hype is for Moonlighter. This is an indie game, part of the, what is that Square Enix indie game called? The Square Enix campaign or whatever?
They have a campaign?
Yeah, they have like a thing where they back indie kind
I'm just going to go ahead and make a combo where it's Squindies.
Squindies. Sure. But anyway, Moonlighter, I don't know if you saw, I kind of brought it up a while ago when I first heard of it. It's got a guy who's a shopkeeper. And during the day he sells his wares, but to get those wares at night he goes into like dungeons and does like dungeon crawling and stuff to get like it seemed pretty cool. Good art style.
Yeah,
I actually got an email from the dev with a preview code. The game's not out yet, but I'm going to be checking that out probably next week when I stream.
Cool.
I'm excited. My other hype is I got a projector. Yes, thank you, Deputy Dangle. The Collective is what it's called. Square Enix is The Collective.
And what's the name of the game?
Moonlighter.
Moonlighter.
I got a projector in my loft. I got that last week. I hooked it up. Played a little bit of some games on it. I played some Mario. Watched a couple movies.
I have not played or seen Mario being played on a normal screen. I've either been playing in handheld mode or watching Nolan play on his giant.
Was it 120?
Basically on his
120
inch projector on his wall.
Yeah.
One day I'll dock that thing and I'm sorry, that came out wrong.
Nick loves docking.
God damn it. I'm never going to get away from that.
Yeah.
Dock it down.
My thank you is actually going to go to Jack for the suggestion of switching up the control scheme for Cuphead. That made a world of difference.
That might change everything.
Yeah, no, I that might make my life so much easier. And then my fuck you goes to Cuphead. You all know why.
No need to elaborate.
For reasons that you all know. All right, Crispy or Jack?
Sure, I'll go. I think I can still do this. I am hyped for... Oh, no. I don't have any joy left to live for. No, I'm hyped for Monster Hunter next year. That's all I'm thinking about now. One. And there's the demo coming out, or the beta, or whatever the fuck, coming out next month, so... Getting excited for that. That's going to be cool. Fuck you.
There was some more information on Monster Hunter that came out today.
Man, fuck you.
You should go read it.
Okay.
I still don't know if I want to play that game, but...
It's one of those games where, like, every time someone talks about it and I see footage and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for this. And then it comes time to actually play it and I'm like, no, I don't have, like, 300 hours.
Dude, I'm going to do it. My next year's Monster Hunter. I'm done. I'm done with playing different video games.
Just the one now.
My sweat is for Star Wars Battlefront 2 because that comes out in about a week or so.
Yep.
I hope it's good. I hope the campaign's good. I just hope it's not more EA bullshit. It probably is.
I mean, but here's the thing: if the Battlefront 2 campaign sucks, is that EA's fault or is that just DICE making another mediocre campaign?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, that was hype, sweat, my fuck you for the week. I don't know.
Konami. It's got to be to EA.
There's a lot of people who deserve fuck yous nowadays.
Well, that's very true.
I'm going to go ahead and make this a pick your own fuck you. If there's someone in the last week who's really just pissed you the fuck off, my fuck you of the week goes to them. And it doesn't have to be someone you know. It could be someone in the news, someone famous who did something that's like, man, that sucks.
Few of those. Jesus Christ.
My fuck you is a gift to you all to pass along to whoever you think needs it.
Bernadette just texted me.
What?
Apparently, Louis C.K.
Yep. Yeah, I heard about that.
Louis C.K., Kevin Spacey.
There have been rumors about that for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there were stories about him like exposing himself to people like in pretty stressful situations for a couple of years now, and now it's finally like getting some traction.
It's open season.
And my thank you for the week goes to.
Are you pooping out your penis right now?
I'm pooping out my penis. My penis. It goes to you guys. How about that? I love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Oh, wait, us in the room or them out there?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
It goes to Jack for being here. It goes to Nolan for letting us use his house. It goes to Nick for being that irascible scamp we all love.
Did you just make up a word, or is that just a word I don't know?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a word.
No, the other one. I don't even know what it's.
Irascible.
I'm pretty sure that's a word.
You know what it means.
Look it up. It's a word.
I don't even know how to spell. Okay, I'm sorry. Jack, would you like to go next?
My fuck you goes to Crispy for stealing my thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, yeah.
Wait, you were going to thank yourself?
Thank for being here.
Yeah, everyone.
Thank me for being
here. That is
Nolan,
like the obligatory,
Crispy,
easy guess thank you.
Yes, that was it was.
That's a gimme.
No, my fuck you actually goes to me for buying Overwatch, because I know how much time I'm going to be spending in that game. And so I'm really enjoying it so far, but yeah, it's going to be a time sink. So my fuck you goes to me. My hype, actually, it was going to be playing more South Park Fractured But Whole, but it's actually going to go to Snipper Clips DLC, which I didn't even know was coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
I didn't know it was going to come out tomorrow until today. So I'm going to definitely be picking that up. And I also want to I'm going to probably watch my girlfriend play through the Horizon DLC, which is supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah, I know. There's so much stuff. Yeah, I don't really have much else, dude. Just thank you to everyone here.
Cool.
Thank you for the chat and everyone for tuning in. And yeah,
you're very welcome. In fact, my thank you goes to Jack for being here. Actually, sorry, thank you for being here. But that's not gonna be. I'm not gonna.
I tell you, my hype is gonna be the kiss.
Oh, nice.
My sweat is going to be the
There we go.
Get some tongue action. Oh.
That'll make it weird, Christy. Don't have to make it weird.
All right.
Rusty Brown.
My official 4-player minute starts now. My hype goes to... I actually picked up .hack GU last recode on PS4.
That's so weird.
Weeb.
Why?
Because I played the first two .hack games back on the PS2 long time ago. Really enjoyed them conceptually. Really cool. I always wanted to try GU. I thought it was really cool. They're releasing on the PS4, so I said fuck it, and I did it. So sometime I'm gonna try and maybe I'll make that one of the games that I stream. I'm kind of into this whole like doing backlog games on my stream. So like I might just do that after I finish Fatal Frame. Who knows? My sweat goes to the Assassin's Creed Origins Trial of the Gods. I have 5 days to level up 15 levels. I want to try and get that Anubis armor. I don't ever really take much... Like, I never try and do these, like, online events in games. I don't pay much attention to them. But, like, the sound... Like, the idea of, like, Anubis armor or Anubis outfit in Assassin's Creed sounds pretty cool. And I'm really... Like I said, for a long time... Assassin's Creed set in Egypt has been like one of the Assassin's Creeds I've like wanted for a long time. So
You've
like
talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's like it finally happened and it's good. So I just want to. I'm worried. I want that fucking armor, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it. My fuck you goes to February, which is entirely 2-packed. We got Shadow of the Colossus,
God of War.
That's July, I think. Now.
July?
It was. I think it was slated for February.
Last I heard, it was February.
But we have Shadow of the Colossus, Far Cry 5, Moss, Monster Hunter. If I end up doing that, who the fuck knows? And like 3 or 4 other things that I just can't think of off the top of my head right now that are all coming out in fucking February. So Jesus Christ.
Far Cry 5.
I mentioned that one.
No, you didn't.
You actually didn't.
I did.
No, you don't.
You thought it.
I'm going to go back and listen to this audio, and I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Let's check the tapes.
I will. And my thank you, actually, this is... I don't know if it's Rockstar. I'm not sure who's actually doing the LA Noire remaster. I don't know if it's Rockstar or some kind of external team doing it. But they changed the prompts.
Really?
It's no longer... What was it before? It was
lies,
doubt.
truth, and doubt.
Yeah, that's not what it is. They changed it so that conceptually, like the funny thing is, they've changed. They didn't change his reactions. Mm-hmm. They changed the context, and funnily enough, it actually seems like it fixes the issue. It's now good cop, bad cop, or accuse. So like, because before it would be like question, and then he'd get all pissed off, or and it'd be like, what the fuck? That's not what I told you to do. Yeah. But now you
just turns on a dime that cold.
Yeah, and now you select bad cop, and that's what he does.
I actually would like to try this remaster.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because I'm wondering if maybe that dramatically.
I really wanted that game to be good.
What if that dramatically? What if that fixes half the problems with that game, and it's suddenly it's oh, this makes so much more sense. I know, probably not, but you know what? I'm curious to try it, and it's coming, so we'll have opportunity soon. So thank you for making that really necessary change.
Fuck young boys Valdez.
What's the line?
You fuck young boys Valdez.
That was so funny.
We're pulling that up after the show.
Oh my god. Yes, we're going to watch that after this podcast is over. Which, by the way, this podcast is over. Jack, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You're always welcome to be on the show. I know we're a little far north now, but anytime you want to be on, you're welcome.
Cool.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. 4playernetwork.com is, of course, the website. You can find all of our podcasts there. You can also watch us stream games every single night at 4pp.tv, and you can join our Discord at discord.gg/4player. We'd love to have you there. It's a happening place. It's where I go during every day to talk about video games and nerd shit with all of you crazy people out there. So that's it for the show. Join us again next Thursday night for another episode. Who knows what we'll be talking about next week? More stuff.
Yep. Video games.
So we'll see you then. Good night.
Bye, guys.